Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures little change so far this morning as investors await any further word from Washington on possible stimulus coming. Progress made apparently yesterday. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows saying that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin made good progress during a phone call yesterday, continuing talks beyond the 48-hour Democrat-imposed deadline from the weekend. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if anything comes before the election. I mean, we're 2 weeks and change away from the election here. Big name earnings to get through this morning as well. Netflix to the downside. We have Snapchat moving sharply higher, both reporting after market yesterday. We'll touch on those. We have PayPal news this morning. Big move for PayPal here. We also had Nikola news as well. Not directly related to the GM story. There's no finalization as far as the agreement between the two sides, but some positive momentum, it looks like, between GM and Nikola. It's Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see pretty positive here, top to bottom. Nice look for this region. Let's go over to Europe and see how things are shaping up so far. Negative here throughout the European landscape. Italy and Spain leading to the downside. We'll shift over to North America and see how things are shaping up. Pretty flat, as I mentioned there, for U.S. markets. You can see the TSX futures here in Toronto pointing to a negative open. Brazil open, trading lower already. Yeah, look at Bitcoin, 4% already to the upside. For Bitcoin tied into that PayPal story. Crude oil to the downside, 1.2%, and gold moving higher so far this morning. Guys, we're keeping an eye, as I mentioned, on any possible developments. So the two sides, Democrats and the White House, still talking, even beyond this 48-hour deadline. So the ball continues to roll, and we'll see what happens with that. But lots of other things going on this morning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're tired of the whole, deal or no deal, 3 o'clock the announcement, nothing happens, market comes to the downside. Plenty of action elsewhere, in addition to, of course, Tesla after hours, you have a lot of news through the wire here. Snapchat dragging a few names up. I'm going to be watching Pinterest, some sympathy plays. Anytime you see Snapchat do what they did here, continuing, actually just broke through 35, so continuing to rise higher. I like Pinterest as well, so I'm going to be watching some of those sympathy plays across that entire space. I mean, Twitter not really moving as much, but there's so much to watch today, a wealth of EV news as well, and I feel like we almost forgot, and it's not that big a deal, GM's not moving that big, but a Hummer. The new Hummer looking pretty solid. So GM getting a tiny bounce off that. We'll see if that's worth a trade. Most days it's not.
Yeah, we tweeted out last night the big win there for Snap. It was a fantastic. You guys know that I'm long Twitter. That's breaking huge moves to up to $50. So yeah, it's a big day here for us, and even a bigger day for anybody in the social media space. Looks like it's a great one right now. I got Snapchat on board, 40 cents in the money, and then our PayPal's bouncing around as well. Big news in the crypto space. Obviously, I'm really excited about anything to do with crypto. So let's see if PayPal can do it. Already at all-time highs. That was my call back January 7th, 108, call for 2020. So I think that's been pretty good so far, Brendan.
Yeah, big time movements on both sides. If you've seen it out of the corner of your eye here in the shot, we upgraded a little bit this morning. We talked about it yesterday. Yeah, it's almost as big as I am in this picture. Yeah, we went out and we got a bigger one because this is a big number, guys. We're ever so close, approaching 1,000 away from 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't done so already, hit subscribe, guys. Help us out. We are so close to that big number. Really appreciate the support. If you're joining us for the first time, we do this every single morning. The market is open. We talk about everything that is moving around in the pre-market. Grab the watch list. Valeria will help you out with that. Before we get into the watch list, let's have a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. Big numbers here, guys. Coming out of Europe, look at that. European markets here, only European markets, $67,500. Nice look. More European markets. Look at the difference here. Different markets, 24,000. Same story. So big day in Europe yesterday. I got to go all the way down to what? Number 7 before you get into some U.S. markets there. The Canadian content coming through as well. So another great day for traders here at Day Trade the World. Yeah, my friend is joining me at the desk this morning. We are awaiting that big 100,000 number, guys, for subscribers. Valeria is standing by and ready to go this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I wish you a profitable trading day. Please don't forget to give us your likes and subscribe to this channel if you joined us for the first time. Take it away, Brendan.
Yeah, let's jump right into things, guys. Lots to get through before we get to the open. We have big news as far as PayPal, as we mentioned. Let's talk about Nikola first. General Motors President Mark Rouse on CNBC this morning talking about how GM is still very excited about the possibility of a deal between the two sides. Remember, they have until the end of the year to come up with an agreement on how that's going to work as far as production of the Badger. Now, some rumors flying around this morning that the new agreement, or this finalized agreement, may not include the truck, but there still might be an agreement. Guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things here where I don't think it takes a heck of a lot in terms of a somewhat positive news to get a little bit of a bump in Nikola. I mean, everyone's sort of beating up on it, and that's why you might see these like time-to-time squeezes here. So, immediately the first level I was looking at, and just going to go to the 15 here. You had last week on the 15th. It got to 23.55, and that was a hard top the following session when it didn't even test it. You saw the flush that came through. That's exactly where the top was gapping into this news. So, until we get a break there, I think I'd like that for another secondary squeeze, maybe not even think about a long unless it's either that 21 back down here or the breakout at 23.50. As always, I'm very likely to be trying to get into a bit of a short trade off of that level. Too early in the pre-market when it was there before. Otherwise, that would have been an obvious setup, but I'm not really taking that at 7:15, at 7 o'clock in the morning. So that trade wasn't there the first time. Could be at the open, but we'll have a look to see how much buying there is underneath that 23.50 level.
Yeah, I think it's pretty positive news. Nikola on the GM deal, of course, was up to $58 before they realized that maybe it was not the properly run company, Nikola. So Trevor Milton has stepped away. And now you have 23. Look, I love the long through 23 here. We'll wait for that. But obviously, there's 22 rearing its ugly head here as well. So, I mean, look, Nikola is just going to be one of those stocks, guys, that you're going to have to. Here's the daily chart. This is that run up that I'm talking about, up to 54 on the GM news. We make bottoms there. I put some buys on this down here, $17, $18. That was the ultimate. I didn't pick any more up, but that was a good spot. Back up to $25 and then now back down. So this stock has a lot of work to go, a lot of room to go here. $27.50 needs to break before we really think this is a buy. But for right now, for today, I like 23. I think the momentum can push it through. The high, obviously, on this 23.16 here. I only put the chart back to 730. That's really, for me, that's a good enough. 23. I like the breakthrough 23. So we'll be locked and loaded and ready to go if that happens.
Yeah, I like that. Look, a lot of people waiting for any kind of developments when it comes to this story. So might be the beginning back to the upside for Nikola. Let's move on to Netflix, guys. The big decliner of the morning to the downside, surprisingly missed expectations on a couple of numbers after market yesterday. Big move down for Netflix here, 4% this morning. But yeah, look at this. This is 500, guys. Obviously a big round number for Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, missing expectations. It's a bit of a. They got it like 2.5, sort of when it came to that paid sub number, and ended up being 2.2. Considering they have like 200 million, it's really not that huge of a miss from their estimates. I know Wall Street was estimating higher than that. I think a lot of people, we talked about this yesterday, anticipating that people that were already going to get Netflix had done so when the start of the pandemic, and this number would come in. The guidance wasn't that fantastic either for the final quarter. Now, all that said, I think there's going to be an opportunity to buy this on the dip. Whether or not we've already missed that chance, 500 was sort of a price thrown out yesterday. And if you got lower, like 465, 470, like Sean mentioned, I think would be fantastic. If we've missed the boat, that kind of stinks, but I'm not ever taking this trade at 8:40, 8:45 in the morning for a 500 break. So if there's a shot that maybe we dip down into that price at the open, I would take one crack at defending 500. I just hope it hasn't come and gone already.
Yeah, I mean, here's the 500 level there. That was an easy one. I actually thought Netflix would be green by the open, but we still could get there 4%. I don't think so. But okay, 501.50 was the other level that we wrote down, and it was right here. So I think there's some opportunities right here to get that stock as well. So you could get trapped between 500 and 502 there. But other than that, we're off to the races right now. The high 405. 505. So Yeah, look, I like Netflix. The problem is I remember too much and too well. I've traded too many earnings releases for Netflix, and it doesn't really move that much during the release day. So we'll just have to wait on this. This is actually already a surprising move to me. Upside, I was sort of waiting for this to happen during the day and not in the pre-market. But Netflix kind of puts me to sleep on earnings days, but it doesn't mean that's going to happen today. 496 as the bottom. And again, more people are going to be signing up for Netflix than ever, and I don't really, the report is there. I like the story. I think it's huge, and I actually think Netflix could split. So that's just another catalyst for me here on Netflix. I hopefully can, like Neil mentioned, I was talking yesterday on a daily chart. If you guys are looking to make a position here, I really like this through 460, 470. If we can get a price, if I'm not in this stock, this is the one sort of big name that I don't have. But I would love to be in at 470. If we can get that down there, then I'm going to be loading up the boat on Netflix. I love the long-term prospects of this company. Really in its infancy here with streaming. A lot of people still haven't even cut the cord, believe it or not.
All right, guys, Snapchat, the next one, great report, to say the least, for Snapchat. They beat right across the board, including the daily active users number, which is the latest or newest metric that is used. It was up 18% year over year, 249 million versus 244 million for Snapchat. So big time move here, 23% for Snap, guys.
Yeah, I might just get out of this one. Let's put an order out here at 23 or so. I was letting this one run. I was thinking if we could beat the high of the day there at 50, that would be good. But it looks like it's trying to come back in a little bit here. So Snapchat right now, we just take this long. It was basically as soon as, I got in here, we looked at this level, missed this break right here. And then when it broke VWAP with like a vengeance, I said enough was enough. Wound up taking some Snapchat there at 34.80 and watched it run all the way up, I guess 60 cents or so in the money. And then now it's only 30 cents. So we'll watch this thing come and go. Snapchat, I love this name. I've already tweeted it out a couple times. It's on our watch list, watchlist.tradertv.live. That's what we're going through right now. I'll show that to you in a second with our morning movers here. What day is it today? It's the 21st. Yeah, so here. I'll show it to you right now. This is the list that we're going through, and I'll just talk about Snapchat in a minute. Nikola, Netflix, Snapchat, Pinterest, they're all here. PayPal, you see I already have a position on. Anyways, watchlist.tradertv.live. Valeria will get that link to you if you missed it. But Snapchat, look, I like it. I like it long. I'm not even really looking at anything short. Obviously, you do have these levels here, 34.20 and so, if it does break. But other than that, I only really want to look long. We can load back up at 32, 33 if it gets that low. I don't think it does. But that's Snapchat. Watch out, breaking VWAP right here as well.
Yeah, I'm almost as if we planned this. Next on that list, and the watch list, as Sean pointed out, is Pinterest. And obviously going to get dragged up here. They don't report till a week today as well, but there's a few names that are up. Twitter, maybe, I think Twitter's like 5%. Pinterest up almost 8%, making the fresh highs. I was looking at a 49.50 level, but I don't necessarily love breakouts right into a 50. So let's see what we can do on any kind of a pullback. First look will be down here at 48.75. If it holds the absolute bottom, I like this sort of lower high in the aftermarket, and then bottom here in the pre-market, 48.25. That could be another place to pick some up on Pinterest. If it does roll over, you can throw Snapchat into that one as well, breaking that bottom. I don't really have any downside targets where I'd have a deep buying position in Pinterest, but on Snapchat, 32.50, so right in the middle of what Sean said, is what I had written down to see if that would be support if it comes in. So I like Pinterest to the upside here. It's looking rather strong, and I think any participation to the upside of a move that continues in Snapchat, I think Pinterest is going to go as well.
Yeah, the Snap report, so positive, kind of lifting the entire group. Twitter, another one. Facebook as well, also very positive in the pre-market. When it comes to Pinterest, there is also Bank of America upgrade and price target increase for Pinterest. So another one from the watch list, guys. If you are looking at those social media stocks, let's have a look at what's coming up a little bit later on in the morning. We're going to have another great video for you. Yeah, we did a video on the RSI indicator. If you are testing or looking at the RSI indicator, this video a great one on some of our thoughts on how to use it, when to use it, how to incorporate it with other catalysts. So Valeria will have that link for you coming up about 11:45 this morning. Let's continue on here. PayPal, the next one. Yeah, JP Morgan rolling out a checking account paired with Quick Accept, similar to both some of the products that PayPal have and Square as well. So there's that catalyst, but the bigger news this morning, they announced a cryptocurrency service where they're going to allow buying and selling and also shopping with cryptocurrency this morning, guys.
Yeah, that's the bigger news.
Yeah.
JP Morgan is literally 49,000 shares and hasn't moved. So let's that news isn't that important. It's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, no, we're cashing in on PayPal, man. We're up 100% on the year on this name, and of course, this is pre-COVID. Not, you can always make calls off March bottoms. This was made in January. I love the name PayPal. We'll continue to love it, and of course, I'm long 3 times right now off VWAP. It does break VWAP, but we get a little more long down here at 208.50. I'm starting to think that this move was probably way too exaggerated here on PayPal. We were in the money over $2 at one point on this trade, and then now it's just fading right back in. So I don't know. I really thought that we could take out this 211.50. I still think we do. This is huge news. I mean, so many Americans, so many people worldwide have a PayPal account. I have a PayPal account. If they can start accepting and trading and able to easily transfer between, fiat and crypto back and forth, I think this is just an absolutely monster idea. And honestly, the runway has never been bigger, in my opinion, for PayPal. So, I continue to love this stock much more. I've been in this for a long time, but I'm in this more than JP Morgan. It's funny that the two sort of financial stocks I like, PayPal and JP Morgan, along with Square, both in the news on this deal, but very big. I'm super excited for it. I think PayPal is going to be huge. And the thing about it is, PayPal also, remember how they make money? They're taking a percentage of all of these transactions, right? So if they're accepting Bitcoin, Bitcoin is there's not too many fees associated with that. So all they have to do is sort of set up wallets, figure that all out, and then take their 2 or 3%. I don't even know what the percentage is going to be, but again, I think this is a huge runway. It gives merchants, it gives the consumer a lot of options here to pay for product. And if you're never able to pay, like most websites have PayPal at checkout, right? If they can somehow implement pay with Bitcoin through PayPal at checkout, then honestly, man, it doesn't get any more spicy for me on no better stock right now. This may even be my stock of 2021, guys.
Yeah, it's huge, and I should have probably over the second part of the JP Morgan story, because Square, of course, does not have that extra catalyst today, so it is actually trading down 2%. I'm just looking at it here. If you look at the last week and a half, so JP Morgan, some of the costs are going to come a little bit cheaper than Square, depending on some of the metrics that they might hit. But JP does have 3 million customers they're immediately going to be rolling this feature out to. I'm watching this 181 bottom, 180 to 181 bottom here on Square. If it does get taken out, like maybe you have a bit of a run to the downside. I'd prefer if you didn't have what was likely to be a big run-up in PayPal, which would find some support to it, but those are the circumstances we're in. We're going to watch that 181 level on Square. The volume's not fantastic. It's definitely the last of these names that I would be trading today, and the one I would look for the downside anyways would be Square, definitely not PayPal, and JP Morgan's not moving, so nothing there.
Another one of the big decliners this morning, Slack Technologies to the downside. Big time gap here, 5% plus for Slack. Morgan Stanley downgrading the stock this morning from equal weight to underweight and lowered their price target to 27. It's still above that number, but only by a couple of dollars here. But not a lot of action here in the pre-market, guys, but this seems like a little bit big just for a Morgan Stanley downgrade.
We come right up to this 50-period moving average. Look, Slack is kind of one of those funny stocks that I've never really been able to figure out, to be honest with you. IPO, I thought it was going to be a great company coming through. It's pretty new. They did the direct listing. What price did they come out at? 40 or 38, whatever they came out at. And then it hasn't been really a very beautiful picture for them on the daily chart. And that's part of the problem for me and why why I can't really trade this stock. It's too up and too down. If you take this 25 level and you hold it, it breaks down to 17. Obviously this was back in March. It's not holding any of these key levels, so I don't really have too much faith in this. It did get downgraded. I know they're dealing with my friend and big, favorite of mine, Microsoft, and they don't want to get punched in the face by Softy, and they've been dealing with them pretty good, the competing products there. So 29.08, maybe the bottom for them. It hasn't been here in a while. We've already talked about that. So I don't know. It's not super interesting to me. It's 163,000 shares, and it's just in a very, very super tight range here. So the market doesn't really know what it wants to do. There's just, on a day like today, there's just so many fish out there to fry. And on that note, everyone's asking me to show the imbalance locator. So let me do that quick. WEI, I got a lot of comments on Twitter and whatnot from you guys yesterday about WEI. We Die Limited there, so China. So we'll look at that, a big sell for them today. But here's Snapchat, the one that you all want to look at. 1.4 million shares or so to buy. It's on there. Hertz again, the name that's on. I haven't even looked at Hertz today. 164. Okay, we got to find some shares. Neil likes pins. A whole bunch of stocks on here, but here we go. Market coming down a little bit. So yeah, we were talking about Slack, not even on the locator. I'm not super interested.
Yeah, the only thing that has any kind of interest in Slack is just how ridiculously tight the range has been all pre-market here, which kind of gives you this like 29, 20 long if you're looking for a gap fill, and then you're risking to the low 29.08. I mean, you don't usually see that kind of a setup where you're risking like 10, 15 pennies to try and get it even just back to pre-market highs would be a nice return, or even filling in a little bit of that gap. Volume 167,000. I wouldn't put that trade on, but I've seen that setup work before.
All right, guys, let's go down to Verizon. Guys, I'm going to throw a curveball here, and we'll go down to Verizon. Sorry, Robbie and Lucas, production guys. There we go. Great job. Verizon reporting better than expected earnings this morning, in fact, in the pre-market. EPS beating by about 3 cents. Revenue in line. They also increased their full year, the bottom end of their full year forecast. They kind of lifted that up a little bit as they added more wireless subscribers in the current quarter, guys. So VZ, another one that's higher this morning.
Yeah, so we will talk about Verizon, but I just want to talk about Snapchat here for some reason. It just went, I don't know, I don't want to say parabolic, but I mean, it was all the way down here. We got out for a 20-cent win. It goes down to 34.30, and then now tons of volume coming in, and this thing rips up $1 right there on Snapchat. Wow, big move there. I thought I was pretty good getting out there, and then I look back and it's all the way up here. So Snapchat, I don't know if there was news there or anything, but wow, Snapchat making moves. Okay, Verizon, look, again, 200,000 shares, not bad. Kind of in this range. They're a big dividend play. If anybody has them, it's been a pretty good run. You can check out the daily chart here for Verizon. But now they're way below this. I mean, it's not way below for this kind of a stock, but we're below the 50-period moving average, and now we're downside on Verizon. So for me today, not a huge report for them, and you're only down up 0.72. Not in love with too much here on Verizon. Let's wait to see if the market puts this thing above 58. If it does, we'll get more excited.
Back to Brendan.
It was Goldman, guys. Goldman Sachs just out with an upgrade and price target raise. Looks like 36, 236 from 25 for Snap. So yeah, obviously a big pop on that. Neil, you want to have a look at that?
Yeah, I mean, like you get that pop. I was actually immediately just looking at Pinterest here to see if it had a sympathy move. It did not, so I'm not going to immediately get into a trade there. I thought maybe we'd take that 49.50 on pins on any kind of a push up on Snap. That puts the 35.50 breakout off the open certainly into play here in Snapchat. We already talked about all the positivity here. Worth noting there is over 60 million share short interest in Snap, so you could get a bit of a squeeze to the upside here, or at least a push to the upside. We've already seen it, but there's always more room to go.
All right, guys, there's a bunch of those little teeny tiny China-related stocks flying around again this morning. Sean was talking about that WEI. MRIN is actually a U.S. company, but they do have a lot of work that they do in China. So MRIN, there's PLIN, ASTC, a whole bunch of little micro-cap stocks, really with no news that we'll have a look at coming up here as well. Let's go to the overall markets at this point, though, and we'll have a look at the futures. We'll bring Arun in here. We're back to positive territory for the morning after a bit of a move down there early on. So a little bit more muted this morning, Arun.
Muted, sideways, and you know what? We're still inside the range that we had set from yesterday. So nothing's really changed. To 75 on the top end, 10 on the bottom. We're still trading pretty much where we were yesterday morning, inside that 30, 35 area. So you know what? We're going to do the exact same thing we did yesterday, which is anything above 50 to 55, going up to 75, I'm looking for shorts. Anything below 30, going down to 10, I'm looking for longs. Nothing has changed. I'm doing the exact same thing I did yesterday. I'm doing it again today to see if we break out. Of course, I think we're better suited for a continuation, or not a continuation, like a breakout move. It's built up enough action. If it does break out, it's more likely than not to go. But For now, we are sitting right inside that range, 75 on the top end, 10 on the bottom, and we're looking for trades inside the range. That's it, Brendan. There's not a whole lot to do except what we did yesterday.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in with Arun again tomorrow morning. Let's talk about some of these little tiny micro caps moving around this morning. ASTC, one of them, up, yeah, a lot, 180%. This is $5 up here. Very, very tough to find locates on this, it seems, at this point this morning, but it's also acting very strong. So let's watch $5 here. All kinds of volume. They announced after market yesterday they're going to develop a rapid breath test for COVID-19. So this is one of the only ones with actual news and an actual catalyst. $5, guys, top end of the range.
Yeah, that's the big difference, right? So it's actual news, which gives you more of a sense to go along. PLIN is another one of these ones that's actually coming into the downside. So and no real catalyst on this name. Fell off a $2 level already. There was this little level at 133. When it broke through, that's when I started to short off of it, and then you can see my average price was right here, like 131.5, and then got a little bit of a dump into 120, into 110 to get that like 10% move. I'm gonna hang on to this one to see if it goes back to $1, and of course I'll get a bunch out there. If it goes penny stock status, great. That worked on Acor, but I made a mistake on ACOR yesterday that I'm not gonna revisit. And that was certainly when it popped in the morning on Acor. Let's just zoom out a little bit. When it popped in the morning, I got back in at like 9:27, 9:28 around this time on a move up, which is a mistake. If you did wait until it started to fall back in, that was a fantastic trade, which I did have. But unfortunately, I took that hit unnecessarily early. Now we're breaking the bottom on Acor, so I took this short as well, 88. Give this one gets down to like 75, so I'll be very happy with that trade. But Snapchat. It didn't break the top off there at 35.50, which I was just looking at. I am also going to be watching Pinterest. I kind of thought maybe there'd be a bit of a bounce just when we had that announcement. Goldman, of course, with the upgrade higher price target. Still going to look to defend 48.25 if Pinterest pulls back into that range. And then the breakout there is very similar to Snapchat, 49.60. So right on top of that sort of a psychological level. I'd almost prefer 50 even better, but we'll take a shot. I want to make sure Snapchat is gone as well if I take the Pinterest long.
I was just looking at Square there, and I don't know, I guess made a keystroke error. We went short and got out, so you're going to see a little bit. I think it was a 20-cent loss there. I'm waiting to go 181 short here on Square. I know it's funny because I'm long PayPal, and it's not that I want to go short Square. It's just Square's down that 1.69% today on that JP Morgan and PayPal news. So just wondering if people may rotate out of Square and into PayPal, or even just out of Square, just because they're not part of that now, and PayPal joining the crypto spot. So 183 is going to be my out if 181 doesn't work, but we're going to try to go short first before we do go long. Checking back on Nikola here. So the only position we have is PayPal. We got out of our Snapchat. We're going to go long when it breaks the high of the day on that one. Nikola, I still like 23. We almost have that order in. I don't have it in yet, just in case it does break in the pre-market, which right now we only have 2 minutes, but that doesn't really mean anything. We saw Snapchat rip up $1 on that Goldman news, so I don't want to go long yet. We'll wait for the market to open, and then I'll push enter on that. Okay, but PayPal right here, it's coming back to the downside right now. Look at the spread, 50 cents, so it makes the position look a little bit worse than it is. We are out right now, 50 cents on this trade, and I'm only going to give it back to here, 206.50-ish area. So if we break somewhere around here on the downside, then we'll get out, and it may flush right away. And like we said, even though we're in this 4 times, we have a little bit of a bigger position now than we probably would like. It's still not one of those huge positions because I could see this flush down. I mean, there'd be no doubt about it. This could flush to 206, and then we get wiped out, and then it comes right back upside. So we don't want to be caught on that, but we do have an out, 206, just in case that does happen, guys.
Just going to get to this TGC. I know a lot of people asking about it. It was a reverse split announced and a bit of a name change as well. So that's going to be the news on that TGC. You're going to see it is in play. But Brennan just mentioned ASTC. We have 1 minute to go, and that $5 level just got tested, but didn't quite break through. It's worth noting it has traded through it. The fact that it's going to fail here gives you at least some juice to the south side. I didn't have any locates on this one. I'm going to have to check to see if we can get them. But if we do hold this lower high, 550, you can see the pre-market high, and then holding 5 even, at least temporarily. This is a trade I don't want until the actual open happens. After what happened in Acor, got to stay a little bit disciplined. If you miss it, you miss it, but you got to stick to your rules at least somewhat. Snap holding 35, so no long just yet for me in Pinterest or that name either, Sean.
All right, we're going to try it here on 503.30 503.50, sorry, on Netflix as that's pulled back down. So watch to see if we can't get that. We still have PayPal on watch as well. We'll see if we can't take out some winners on PayPal as that's bouncing around a little bit now, back to 208.30. We'll wait to see on that one. But right now it's going to be an interesting open, man. Snapchat, we're waiting for it to take out the top here. But look at this. Big size on the sell side. 2-1. Let's go. The imbalance right now. 1 million buy. Here we go. Let's see what happens. PayPal rocking
2 million
rolling
sell
right
on
now. Go ahead.
Did you see that level 2? Sorry, I don't have the Snapchat level 2 up, but I just saw a 2 million order. There it is. Yeah, it opened up 1.5 million shares at 35. I mean, it's going to be hard not to at least think about it. You got to at least think about going long or short off of that with a long reversal off of a level like that.
I'm
35.
short now.
That's entirely too big, guys. So I'm going to get that one structured. I got to put it on. That's what. Look, we talk about this. You got to have a level 2 up to be able to see that off of 35. So Snapchat 99 short. I'm going to scalp it out. My thesis was to go long it, so I'm not hanging on to the short just off that 5. But nice little quick trade off that 35 level.
Yeah, man, it's Superman time in the building there. We saw that level. Yes, we take a big position and go short, and then bang, 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 bang. Nice hits there on Snapchat, man. Big time moves to the downside. We took a decent position there through 35, and then we hammer that and get out. So yes, a big trade there on Snapchat. We saw that size, 2 million there to sell, and we take that, man, and we get out our best outs there. 62s, hells to the yeah. It is already a spicy meatball outside today, man. What a big trade that was on Snapchat. Hells to the yeah. We going now. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to get back on that one again. I mean, if it goes up and we see that same size order, there's no reason not to just rinse and repeat. That 1.5 million shares is significant. That's like 10%. We've already done good volume this morning. Some other winners on right here. PLIN, we'll go back to this one for a quick second. It's going to have to break 115 for me to get excited to get more shares out. Otherwise, we're going to start shorting 125, 130 range. Right now, I'm short above 130.
Here we go.
But I would only add at 125.
Here we go. It's $1 in the money on PayPal, and bang, we take that out as well. Look at what's happening today, guys. The money just keeps on flying through, and your boy is doing it again and again and again every day for you. PayPal, bang, that's $1 win. $1, what about $2? We're long at 208.40 right now. It just ripped a 210 and change, so hopefully this can keep on going. What just happened to Snapchat there? Big move up and then big move down. Did that actually break 35 there, Neil?
I don't think it did, but I got triggered into it anyways, guys. You know what? I'm not even on that level 2, so I'll have to quickly get over to it. It did break it, and I got it to the long side. But Sean, I got that fill before it broke. So every now and then you get a great price. But here's the break on Snap. We talked about 35 even. I just took off a bunch at 35, 65 to 70, but that was crazy. Literally got the fill before it broke 35, so I was able to get some profit on it. The short worked, the long worked. Either way on Snapchat. What's up, buddy?
Oh, hell
Spartan
yeah.
Energy, guys, just popping up on a volume scanner here. SPAQ, that is. This is the Fisker SPAC. A little bit of a headline out here just talking about the Fisker Ocean, which is their SUV that's much anticipated. They're talking now Q4 2022 for deliveries of this vehicle. So SPAQ getting some attention on that, guys.
Oh, hell yeah. This day just got elevated with chicken dinner winners all over the place. We hammer the short and get out. We hold that last 10%. Then it blasts through 35. Look where we get in at, guys. We get in at a horrible price. We actually were down like $1,000 on this trade. We got in at 35 right here, 35.05. It crashed all the way back down to 34, like 80 or something. And then it just started to rip city to the north side, and wow, what a trade that was, guys. In there at 35.07 for a big amount of shares and just crushed it to the upside. Man, are we ever huge on this one? And look at PayPal. We just took out another $2 on PayPal as well. So catapulting, going nuts. We've already hit our daily goal, and let me check what time it is. Oh, 9:33. Hells to the yeah. Floss it off. Hell yeah, PayPal. $1, $2 now in the money on PayPal. This is how we do it. Join the club, and the club is free. Let's go.
Yeah, this is why we try to give you that look at that 35 on the level 2, guys. This is what it's all about here. Now, obviously, I like Pinterest, fantastic, but when you see that level on PayPal, on Snapchat, gonna take that trade anyway. So we took the short off 35, hit it. Still have that 35.05 long. I'm gonna hang on to it. Why not? But Pinterest looks like it was just as good. You could have taken this break as well and made $1 on the trade. Obviously, percentage-wise, it's about the same move that happened on Snapchat as it happened in Pinterest. So it didn't matter which one you took. Both on the watch list, guys, both given to you and both talked about as to what the setup was. But when you see obvious size like that, like 1.5 million shares on the offer on Snapchat, that's why I'll gravitate towards it all day long. I want to quickly get to that WEI because I know people were asking about it. I was going to say I was going to short it at 350. Obviously, it's already sort of broken to the downside. This one is down 34%, short sell restricted. It's day 2 coming back in rather heavily. If it comes all the way, you're probably talking about first support at like 250, maybe at like $1.52 even. But I like that short at 350. If I get anywhere close to it, I might take another shot.
Okay, guys, I mean, our PayPal is just a monster. Like, we are just rocking and rolling. Thank you for all of the love there as I see you guys on the chat. It means a hell of a lot to me, and obviously we're trying to educate. And here goes PayPal, up now $2.25. Why do we like it? It's on the watch list. It's crypto. It's everything that we love. PayPal just mooning right now. Great trade off that 206 bottom. We did not get out here. We gave it to 206. Thank God. High side, upside. And boom, $3, actually $2.50 right there. Take it down. The money just keeps on raining in for us on PayPal. We'll try to hold the rest for you on this one, guys. But big time trade. Snapchat not doing much, but we're already cashed out of that one, man. We had a huge position on there, and now we've dumped it. But PayPal, big time, and Snap trying to go as well here. Man, what a day this has been, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go. Right through 115 is PLIN. So it's just going to be one of those mornings, I guess. Slide it all the way down to $1, and I'll be a happy camper 131 short if I can get that nice 20-30 cent return on the entirety of it. We're taking 20 now, 30. I'm usually going to be mostly flat when it goes to $1. I say that over and over again. Psychological level that matters. If Snap breaks 34.80 on that pullback of the 35 break, I'll just get out of it at this point, only holding 20% of the position. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Great rejection up here once again for this ASTC. Still trying to get locates on this, but $5.
Oh, no.
The big level here, but above that looks like 540, 550 might be a problem for this as well. But ASTC, the one we were talking about, back to the downside on the volume spike, guys.
I mean, this day, I don't know how much better this day can get, but it's hopefully going to get a lot better as well. Okay, Nikola falling down, so we don't... I mean, this Snapchat trade, I'm just over the moon with it. That was so fantastic. I hope you guys had that. We had a big position short, just to review what we had, guys. We had a big position short, cashed it out like 50s and 60s, man. Put our market order to come through if it does break 35, and then we get just as many shares long through 35, and then look at the cashes. This is a small little bid that we had to go long through the day's high. But look where we caught out, man. Like 27s, 28s, 29s, 30s, 70s on the high side there on Snapchat. We got out $1 ago, guys. So big trade there. Really happy with that performance. And let's just keep watching Snapchat here. It could fade back down. I got to make sure I don't have any orders out for that one, and we do not. So good call on that. PayPal, we're out of PayPal at that high side. It's still showing me in position, and it's because I have 2 shares. We didn't get filled everything up top here. So let's get out of our PayPal and cash it in, man. PayPal, Bitcoin, everything moving today. What a fantastic day. It's cheers all around, and cheers to everybody for watching the show. Thank you so much again. We love doing this, Brendo.
The other one, guys, Pinterest here, still going. Yeah, just taking out the highs here on Pinterest. So $51 coming into play here. Still huge volume, 12% now for pins.
We also take Netflix here, new position alert on Netflix. We take that 203.50 break. Let's see sorry, 203, 503.50 break on the earnings report. They're coming to the high side, now coming back down. So we got to watch out here on Netflix on a failed break, guys.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to look to see if it dips back anywhere close to that 500 to defend it. Square, I want to get back to this thing. We did talk about this. The JP Morgan news, of course, weighing on it, but does not break 181. That's still in play. Still got my order in case it ever gets down there on the break. But let's look at afternoon bottoms, 185. See if I can't fade off of this level. If I was going to go short on one of these, it's probably going to be, it is going to be Square today. So I'm using that 185 level. If we get back up to 184 or something like that, we'll take a shot at it. We like the 181, but I'll take a shot below that 185 mark. Pinterest is sort of long gone here, but let's watch out for Snapchat. I mean, if it gets sort of back above that 35 mark and maybe gives you a secondary break. I got triggered out when 34.80 broke, but might jump back into that trade if I get a shot.
Okay, yeah, about Netflix, yeah, not working. I said this at the beginning too, like, I hate Netflix on earnings days, but I took it anyways, so yeah, pay the piper here, looks like, on this one. We're gonna wait on Netflix. We did take another long down here, but if it breaks back down for 497, then we're gonna be out and take a bath on this Netflix trade, man. It was great through PayPal, it was great through Snapchat, but we're gonna give some back here on Netflix as this one looks like it just wants to come to the downside right now. We thought this was a decent break on the upside. We turned out to be completely wrong on that one. So we're going to wait. I'm going to see if I can get some out 501 and change. But the spread right now, man, it's like $1 at least when it opens up. So you got to watch out for this trade here. That is Netflix now making moves back to the high side, but not a great one here. We got to try to get some out mid 501s if we can to lessen the blow here, guys.
Yeah, that got me in. Looking to defend that 500. It comes down through that price. When it retakes 500, I immediately get triggered into it. Get on the way up, not on the way down. It might not matter at this point because it might just come right back in. You can go tight stop if it's going to give it to like that 485, 498, 45 where it turned just minutes ago, or you can look at the pre-market level down here at 496, which I think is a little bit more prudent. Brennan, what's up?
A couple of upgrades on this name today, guys. Freeport FCX up 4% here, straight higher from 17 to 18.5. This is 52-week high territory. Earnings tomorrow, so a couple of upgrades going into earnings for FCX.
All right, we absorbed that hit there, and we didn't make it. We did not get hit, actually, through there on Snapchat or on Netflix. We actually get out. Now, look at these outs here. Better. So, yeah, not as crazy about that position, but we did get out there. We got to give it a little bit of room. Where the sell side is on that stock, yeah, 498. So that's the break. If we do break down here, 498, that's why we defend that level right there. And then our out is snapping this level right here. Sort of where, what I'm trying to do now, guys, is look at, where the out is, and it's got to give ourselves a little bit more room. Obviously, this one just shot up straight $7, which triggered me in. That's obviously not ideal for when you're trading these kind of names. So you got to watch out for these kind of big snap ups there. And again, if your eyes are on the stock, you don't really make this trade because it just goes up way too high. I put this order in pre-market to take that pre-market break, so we miss it, but that's okay. Average in on that move back downside. So let's wait to see now. What's my average price now? 501.35. So we're basically flat on it right now and have taken a small hit. So no doubt about that, but now we'll see if we can get back up to 503. Our out is still 498. Stay disciplined, guys. Do not, even though we've crushed it this morning, we don't want to let this money go back in, right? So that's the key thing, man. Stay disciplined and let's run this thing to the high side now and make this money back. What up, B?
Auto Nation, guys, my daily chart is not working for some reason, but AN here up 6%. Oh, there we go. Yeah, all-time highs for Auto Nation after earnings this morning were better than expected. Trying to break downside, though. 67, bit of a problem here. 6%, though, for AN.
Definitely one to watch. And look, I said that I would get this one if I could, short 35 on WEI. But you got to remember, short sell restricted means it's going to be difficult on a thin stock. And this is relatively thin for a cheap stock. So it is what it is. Try to get the short if you're holding the longs. Talked about a couple of reasons why I was looking to take it off or at least short it to the downside. I took Netflix there. I'm going to go with the hot dog winner. And I don't know why, because it's the first button that came up here when I looked at my board. Waited for that 500 mark. And I like that psychological level. Call it what you will. We're talking about it yesterday. And when it dips down, I catch it on the way back up. Got 35s long, out the first half in front of that current high at least of the day. So we'll catch a $2 winner on that. If it does break the top, I'm looking to hold through. It's just a big gap to be filled here. I'm not necessarily thinking it's going to go positive on the day, but if it takes out 505, I think we have a chance to at least get a halfway move up. And if it breaks that 05 mark, that's when I would move a trail in to that 500. So I would give it to 98, but once 505 is broken, then it's a trailing stop at break even, and then it can't turn into anything but a winning trade. I want to go over to this MRIN. We didn't have locates basically all morning on this stock, and it was sort of the weakest name of the bunch in terms of the gaps to the upside. It is continuing that trend. This one from our watch list. If it gets back to $3, I think maybe I would give it a shot, but might have missed this move altogether with the late locates. I think we have some now that I'd like to take advantage of, but I got to wait patiently to get that $3 range.
Patiently waiting, yeah, sometimes that's tough to do, especially in our game here, guys. Very, very tough. Okay, Netflix making moves. We're in the money, the same thing there. In the money, $3 off of our $4.99 take there. So good trade there for sure so far anyways on Netflix, but we're just getting our money back. So It'll be a flat trade. Obviously, we would love to have a better price on this one, but here we go. Now making moves back to the upside here is Netflix. So damn it, why didn't we hold all of these trades back here? We're back to this day's high. I like what Neil's talking about. Maybe we can get get out here at through 505. Bang! Netflix, $7 now in the money on Netflix. Just wish that would happen first. We would be monstrous, but we're not. Here we go, upside Netflix. Wow, what another banger for you guys. If I just did not get out here, wow, we're still holding though 35% of this trade. Let's see how high we can fly here, Netflix. Let's go. What up, Beep?
Speaking of day highs here, Facebook, we mentioned the entire social media group, guys, being lifted on that report. 5% here for FB. Just took out day highs, 281 on a volume spike, guys.
I would move the stop up. I'm going to hang on to this Netflix. If it gets to like 510, 512, I'm not going to do that thing where I look a gift horse in the mouth and I say it, but I don't actually use it when I say it. So there you go. There's the ugly horse in your face. Netflix continues to run to the upside. I'm not saying it's go positive on the day, but I mean, filling in this gap is a significant gross win, even if it's going to be halfway through. Let's not get too far away from the big story this morning, Sean. Like this Snapchat about, or at least I'm making an attempt here, and I apologize for this little dark pool wick that's down here skewing the chart, but 35.70 is a new current high, and it's about to break towards it. Now, I got trailed out of this, unfortunately, and was unable to get back in when I was looking to get into some Netflix at the same time. I feel like overtrading has been a bit of an issue for me, so I'm trying to stick to one at a time. That's why we only had Snap, not Pinterest, which is also going, but here comes the top on Snap. As it goes, I just missed 75 entry. Yeah, it just broke the high again. We're working our way to 36 even, so this one just keeps on going. I'm going to assume Pinterest is making moves too, but right now eyeballs are on Snapchat.
Hi, Valeria. How are you, Valeria? Good. How are the likes going?
So.
Okay. Let's get the likes going in bigger then in batter. Yeah, nice Valeria with the blue shirt on today. If you haven't seen it, you will very soon. 49 and change. We love Twitter, baby. This is a big one in me account. 7%. Thank you, Snapchat, for lifting the whole space. What up, Beep?
Tilray, guys, just popping up here on a volume scanner. Nice look here, 6%. For Tilray already through 660 there for Tilray. Big time levels here. Watch this area on the daily chart. A little bit of resistance possible, guys.
All right. Marijuana stocks. Everyone loving those marijuana stocks with the blue wave possible coming through. Watch out for marijuana stocks. Get it while you can, but don't get too much of it because we need to trade.
Well, just the stocks. Right. That's what you meant.
Just talk.
Right? Yeah, of course you did.
Hey, what am I talking about?
Sorry, not Netflix. Netflix is on my brain. I'm watching in the level 2 over here. I've moved my trail up again. We just tested to 507. I'm going to lock in the $5 profit if it goes back below 505 and then look for a dip buy. Nickel, on the other hand, initial look for me was going to be that 2350 level. We're just sliding to the downside here, so I guess that short we've missed out on. There might be a shot, I think, off of like 21 if it gets another bounce to the upside. We've seen Nicola squeeze before, so obviously that's going to be one to watch. I just got out of Netflix, so we'll do a backflip on that trade. I think any way you cut it, it was going to be good. It both holds that pre-market low. It then gives you the retracement through 500. Both of those looks are fantastic. And this is what we talked about this before, I think. Well, many times I would like to say, where you can have the same look or the same stock in plenty of ways to read it. And I like that we're showing both of you those here because you're going to get a big gross win off of this, off that pre-market low. If you go with the momentum and sort of wait for it to come back up, you also get a dip buy trade. So lots of ways you could have skinned that cat on Netflix. Nice little win here.
Yeah, we're still. I'm going to give it back to 501.50. So if that comes back to 501.50, we'll get out of Netflix. But yeah, it might have hit the high there at 507. So we're just going to watch that one. But I mean, it's just been such a monster day for us today that I'm really, really happy with everything. We are absolutely perfect on everything today, and that doesn't happen. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't happen often. It's happening more often than I would have thought. But yeah, Snapchat, I'm still unbelievable at this. I actually put a poll up on Twitter. Would this thing be greater than or less than 25% today? And I'll check the poll after, but we're up to 26 right now. So good look for anyone that said higher. Wow. I mean, look, I was maximum shares here on this 35 break, guys. And then, we got out all the way up here. And it was a good one. But wow, if we still held this, man, we'd be doing doing hella backflips for you, even live backflips, I think we would have been doing. But for now, we'll just count that money as it just keeps on coming in for us. And there goes Netflix again, back to 505 and change. So it bounces off that exact level that we got in at the first time, 503 and change. So let's see if Netflix can get back to 507. I think a little bit more work is probably required here on Netflix, because I'm thinking probably should have got out there. I mean, there's really nothing, though, in the way of this Netflix. What is this high? That's 511. So yeah, Neil was mentioning 512 or 510. I don't know if we get to that today. If we do, then yeah, backflips may just happen live on this stage. What's up, Brendan?
Pindo Duo, guys. Oppenheimer with, looks like they're initiating coverage on PDD, another Chinese name, obviously. PDD up 4% on that. So we just cleared 93 there on a bit of a volume spike. This thing, another one that's been on a tear, was $72 at the beginning of October, guys.
So as promised, I'll go yeehaw because Brendan just talked, and his partner in crime has his own little pip down there. If you're not enjoying this one, I don't know what to tell you, so hit that like. And the subscribes, if we get to 100,000, man, that's a pretty big bottle, and I am a cheap drunk. But it should be a lot of fun, certainly. I talked about this every single time you get one of these gap ups on basically nothing on PLIN, another story here. If it goes back towards that psychological level, you're almost always going to find some buying, so I will take almost everything out. I'm now down to less than 10%. If it breaks one even, yesterday this trade wasn't great on Acore when it broke $1. There was kind of 5 cents in it for you, so I'm not going to dig too deeply on PLI. And if it comes back to 125, 130, sure, revisit this trade maybe for a little bit less size, because the second, the third time that it tests this level, probably not as good as the first and second. You kind of have to go with that. If you miss the first one, don't go all in on the second. Everyone sees the same level as we do, and it already worked a couple of times, so don't dig too deep if it does come back, but I will try again at 125.
Yeah, at least you made today. You could take some sips. Okay, there goes Netflix down 501.50. So we just wind up taking a $2 winner on that one. So barbecued up some profits, but not the maximum. We had left back that one. So Netflix on the day there could have taken a monster win, but we didn't. So yikes on that one. We throw a little bit of money back at it, but look where we get out, a good price, as now it's fading back down even more. So really, really happy with Netflix today. Over the moon with Snap. And yeah, we do have that big bottle of champagne there. So definitely hit us up. Kevin O'Leary coming up. Which one is it, guys? Three, 2, or 1? The coming ups. I'll do it. Whatever. We'll see what this one is. Coming up 2. Okay, here we go. We have Kevin O'Leary coming on Friday, so that should be a big one. We're going to ask him various questions all about the market, about MyMed and whatnot. So join us on Friday for Kevin O'Leary. My board is just really messed up here, guys. Coming up, we'll take it off and we'll go to trade. We just got triggered into Square as well through 181 actually. That's that short that we looked at earlier. It does drop down about 30 cents, but now we're into this short on Square. I don't like it that much. Look at the market, man. The market's heading upside. Go ahead.
Sean, I want to be sick about this one because I was talking about off that 185 going short, and then I missed a trade off 184. It gave one spike to 183.50. I got triggered in. There was a buyer. Let's go to level 2. There was a buyer right down at that 50 mark, 180.50. I tried to get the scalp trade out on the way down, in that 55 range. I'll try it again because in the off chance that it holds, I do want to take some profit on this trade. You see how far it's already come. I mean, the real trade was off of that 185 level, which I was talking about. I just was not fast enough to catch this. If it breaks back above 181.50, I'll have to take some of this one off because I like that. I'm gonna take another shot if it gets to that 183.50 mark, and I want to be holding these shares if that does happen. I shouldn't say when.
No, I don't blame you. Yeah, we don't want to hold anything if it's going to go against us. That's for sure, guys. But we're just looking around here. So right now, man, we still have the PayPal long. That's 44 cents in the money. That's this one right here. Not a good one. It's not very many shares. We'll just see how high this can go up. I'll get out if it goes to 209.50 right here, guys. What's up, B?
A little pop here in Alibaba, guys. Volume coming in through day highs there. Looks like Ant Group, their ARM Ant Group, reporting their latest earnings right now, literally just coming out right now. And also they're updating their IPO for Shanghai. They're going to plan to sell 1.6 billion shares in their Shanghai IPO. But Ant Group financials just out, guys. Watch Baba.
Like, Snapchat, guys, is at 37 and what? Or 36 and change, sorry, on its way to 37, 36.50 for Snapchat, up 27% today. Hells to the yeah if you're a Snapchat holder, guys. What a big trade this was. And I don't own any of these shares in my big account, but right now we are just crushing it here on the show today. So hopefully you guys had that. We don't have any on, which is kind of embarrassing. Should have held some for this run upside, man. We did smash it through 35. I scalped it out. It's been a big day here on Snapchat. I wonder if we're a little exhausted right now. You can see on the relative strength index right now, we are finally starting to head a little high side. So maybe we're going to look for a little bit of a short here. As unfortunately right now, my square, I'm short. I got a little bit better price than Neil, but 180.84, it doesn't matter. If this stock continues to rip up, it's going to be a loser for both of us. So we got to watch out for this one.
I'm out.
Sorry, what price do you have?
I literally had the same thing, 84. Sorry, 180.84. I got trailed to the same thing on that break. But I just took it out on the way back up because I want to be back in this one if it gets up to like that 183 range. So I want to go quickly to this ASTC. I almost said the wrong ticker there. It's starting to come back rather heavily. Just went to the daily chart just so you guys can see that time frame. It did fail at 6 even, which was a level previously. So that's usually trigger number one that I like it. It got the move to the upside. I said I'm staying away from it at the open. I want to see it come back in. If it takes out this 430 bottom, I think probably heads down to that 375 to 4 even area from before. If it pulls back into about 5, I'll short off that level as well. So looking for a couple of things here in ASTC. Further retracement here. I like that move to 6 and then failing there.
Yeah, ASTC, lots of big moves happening. Okay, there goes PayPal. Out of PayPal there for a nice little win. 209, it's $1 there on the last bit of shares. Not a big position. We did talk about that trade. So out of our PayPal and now flat. PayPal, well, Snapchat's my biggest stock, but PayPal can join the club right behind it. So really happy with the way that one turned out. That's PayPal. Obviously, we were looking for bigger moves, but we did take it and we got a nice price on PayPal. So we're really happy with that. What's up, B?
Another one, guys, that's moving back to the downside here in a big way. NTWK, a little bit of positive news. This thing barely trades normally. It was up huge in the pre-market, all the way back down. $3 just broken there on a volume spike. So NTWK, if you're watching some of the pre-market movers, also all the way back down. About 900, 907. Guys, if you've noticed that in the bottom corner there, 907 subscribers away from 100,000 subscribers on YouTube for us. So guys, help us out. Let's get to 100,000 subscribers. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, guys, and join us.
So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah, I like it. Look, we're gonna have a lot of fun here. Obviously, when we get to that number, it would be fun if it was today. Obviously, there's been a lot of excitement that you guys have seen here. I'll come back to a name from a little bit yesterday as well. I don't know that we mentioned Hertz this morning. If we didn't, that's because obviously there were bigger fish to fry. Hertz down again, down 10%. I was looking to see if it would test this 180 top. It also closed just at 180. It doesn't quite get there, but another rollover ongoing in Hertz. So watch this opening range top. Call it 175. I know it's 173. That 75 to 80 would be a nice place to go short off of. If it happens to squeeze again, I don't think that it will, but a break of 180 would be that obvious price range. I wouldn't look at 175. I'd use that even dollar 180. But Hertz looks like it's going to be another good short all day long.
Yesterday, Hertz short was big time. Those of you that were watching the show know how we just crushed that Hertz on the short side. So that would be a good one today to trade. And it's just been fading through. The only position I have on is Square. We keep talking about it. I'm giving it up to 182.50 here. That's sort of this little range right before we broke was 182.80. It looks like it's coming right back to the north side now. Did we just get out there? No, we didn't. So you'll see a little tick when we get out. Has to break through. There it comes. It's going to break through 182.50. So we will lose on this Square position. We did think that it had a chance here on this break. Obviously, we like that break there. It was the low of this pre-market, and it did get going for a bit, man, but then it said no thank you and basically turned right around and said, we like Square too much. The fintech space has just been amazing. So it's stupid for me to short this when I love this stock so much. But whatever, you can't trade your own book. You sometimes got to trade obviously what you see. So Square, I did like that break. Thought we'd have some momentum to the downside. The market though saying, Sean, are you crazy? This market only wants to go up. So you got to watch out there and just trade longs, man. I mean, if you don't believe me, check out Snapchat.
Yeah, I mean, check out a lot of these names to the upside. I mean, I'll go back to pins for a second. I'm going to get to that JKS, and I think the party is a little bit over, at least temporarily, for Jinko Solar as it's coming off, despite the market moving higher. Here's the top right now in Pinterest. It's starting to round out a little bit, and this is one of those things where, look, they don't report till next week, so you get the sympathy move up. At some point, it will move high enough where I would jump into the short here. I'm not saying I wouldn't short Snapchat at some point, but I already tried Square. That was a bottom break. I should have shorted the pop like I tried to and failed the first time, and I'll revisit that if it gets to 184. But Pinterest here, if it starts to roll over, the first scalp I would take is if it tries to break 51 and into VWAP, and then I can just sort of give that to that high, the current high of the day, and see how that one works out for me. Obviously, usually I'd be upset about missing the breakout long this morning, but you can't because Snapchat did literally the same move, so it didn't matter which one you had. Both of them were fantastic. But let me see if I can't get a quick scalp short on 51 level in Pinterest. Square's not quite back up to 183, about $1.50 away from me thinking about going short again in that name.
Okay. I keep trying to find shorts here on Snap, and I can't, so I'm not going to. We're not going to go short on Snapchat, that's for sure. Yes, sir. Wow, look at Facebook, man. Some of these social media stocks just going like absolutely ham right now. Facebook at its high of the day again, 283. Wow. I mean, some of these names are just going nuts. Let's check out Mr. Softy as well today. 216, not as good, man. Only up that 1%, not even. This could be a good one to take, man. 216.20. Let's break this down a little bit. Anything upside here? 217 was yesterday. What do we have? What's this bottom? 215, 216.20. I don't see much, but I don't mind this top getting taken out right now. Let's go a little long here, Microsoft. 216.30. We got to make some trades happen here, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to jump back to Netflix briefly. It is back below that 500 mark. Obviously, that's going to be a big psychological level for us here. If it cannot hold this, I mean, there is a good chance that maybe Netflix is going to test these bottoms. So let's watch that previous low, which did get held, and that was a great long. It's going to be this pre-market level at 493. If that breaks, I think there's going to be a southbound trade in Netflix. But this 500, this is a battle that has to be waged. I'll wait to see the victor before I think about another trade here. It's already 10 o'clock because time flies when you're having fun. Brendan is at the big screen for Happening Now.
Just like that, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets, guys. Very positive. Still, nice look here. S&P 500, 0.5%, leading the way outside of the NASDAQ, which is better part of a full percent now. 0.8, 0.9%, 100, the composite to the upside. But the S&P having a nice day as well, 0.5%. The Dow, just 0.4%. The Russell, 0.18%, was significantly higher. A lot of those small caps coming back in. The TSX here in Toronto, basically flat on the day. Same story down in Brazil, about 0.16% for the BOVESPA so far. A couple of things from the watch list, guys. If you haven't done so already, sign up for the watch list. It's free. Why not? Work, Slack Technologies was on the watch list. Gave you a really nice opportunity through that pre-market low. If you're looking through or on the short side, $29. Morgan Stanley with the downgrade today, $29. Big flush down to $28.20. Trying to consolidate now, but still looking relatively weak. After that, basically doing nothing in the pre-market. Another one here, Nikola, still fading. This gap to the upside on the GM kind of rumors that were floating around this morning. 22 was this support. We're below that. This is 21 down here. If you get back to yesterday, 20.5, 2050 might be possible on the downside for Nikola. One more to show you here, and then we'll get back to things. Biogen, another one from the watch list. They reported aftermarket yesterday. Earnings were decent, actually in line, kind of higher than expected, but they're fading this back to 264. Biogen, guys, back over to you.
Okay, so a couple things happening here. Interesting development. Microsoft going downside, but so is Square. So we actually, as this market comes down, Square comes back almost into the money for us. But Microsoft, we did take some out there. It didn't go. It goes through the top. We notice a turn in the futures and we get a little bit out. Now it's starting to come a little bit back. But look at our Square position. Now backside down. So we could take some out here if we can get back to 181 and change, which is right where we're at. So this is turning out to not be a horrible trade after all. We were out of the money pretty significantly on Square, but we did our 182.50 level, and it bounces right off that. So feeling a little bit like Superman calling that level, but it doesn't matter. We got to wait to get out you know, it could just rip upside and get us out again for a decent loss there. So watch out there. This is Square making moves to the backside. Okay, Microsoft tried to go there, gets back to 216.15. Watch out. If these futures fail, though, Microsoft will as well. I don't like this look here on the NASDAQ. We are looking to break this level back to the downside, so we got to watch out and get out a little bit more Microsoft if we can right here, guys.
The NASDAQ and the ES at similar levels. I just got a new position in Hertz. I already talked about this one off of 175, 180. It does hold here and some consolidation, so I'll jump in for the starter position at 66. I'll add to it in front of that 75 mark with an 80 stop. I want to quickly come back to ASTC. I talked about patiently sort of waiting, and I don't know, patience is a virtue. Sometimes it doesn't work out for you. I wanted to patiently wait for a move back up to that 5 level to short it. I did indicate after the failure at 6, I'm now looking for the short in ASTC, but it only breaks down. Now trying to test new lows. Thank you for the reload, Valeria. I'm going to need that one, the coffee today in my Trader TV mug, as you guys can see here. But it's a 380 break that I think could get another move to the downside. So it's either at this point going to be a pop back up to 475 or so, or we're going to have to take this through the bottom here on ASTC. I'm still hanging on to some of this PLIN. Like I mentioned, but we basically already hit what we expected to be a support at the bottom at 110. If it does climb back up, it's maybe 10 cents away from where I'd like to re-enter for what would have to be a smaller position. Every time it tests it, I like it a little bit less. And Acor is the last one to update you guys on. This one is from yesterday. Now, all of our names on our watch list are going to be in play and worth trading, but if it comes in the second day, you're gonna have to like it as well. And Acor was a good one for me after I went back to what actually works in terms of sticking to my plan. Now I have this short off of, usually it would be off $1, but I like it off this 95 level. There was a flush in the afternoon when it finally broke down and gave you the bigger move. So that 95 is what I'm working for this short. If it breaks that, I'll revisit it at $1 or $1.10. But for now, working in a position in Acor short, just see if it gets back to where it was just a couple of days ago as a 68-cent stock, where I'd love to see it go back.
Okay, we're not super happy with much here right now. Square comes to the downside. We did get some out, so really limited the damage on that one. 181.04 was our out. Our short is 84, so that's a 20-cent hit there on Square, but we're still holding 2/3 just in case it does come back. And it's been a little bit of a battle because I'm watching Square go short and realizing that I have basically the same risk on Microsoft and on Square. So Microsoft probably going to come out very soon, and then we'll have to let Square ride to the bottom, and hopefully that is a trade that does work out for us. Microsoft, we've been getting out on every single one of these bumps up. It's just not going. Our out on Microsoft, just to let you guys know, is breaking through 80. So 215.80 right here on the downside. So that'll be our out on Softy if that does come through. And it's trying to hit it, but we also have to give this some room to go back to the upside. And then Square, again, like I said, I think this is a weaker name. Obviously, we're down 2.5% on some of that JP Morgan and PayPal news, but I still love the space and I still love the stock. So we got to wait to see what happens here. Hopefully that can fade through as Microsoft getting some legs back into it, guys.
Yeah, just going to remind everybody of another name. Well, if you're following along, you got the watch list, so you got it next to you here. But Slack did get a downgrade, down 5%, just 5% plus. We talked about off the bat here, if it did break out of that range, it was ridiculously tight, so volume has finally come in. You would have had a nice little win into that high of day. I'm now looking at that high, 29.50. If we get there, breakthrough, maybe we can fill in some of this gap. It's not, it's not a tremendously difficult type of trade. First leg would be getting out in front of that 30 mark, and then if it goes any further than that, you have a 30.81 close. I don't think it gets all the way back in. I'm not going to touch it to the short side unless we're actually testing the bottom here, and then see if it holds this higher low. So I'm looking at 29.50 break in Slack. We'll see if we catch that to the upside. ASTC looks like it's turning back up here, so I was waiting for this move to see where I could possibly short it. I'm looking for a rejection a little bit closer to that 5 even mark, so I'm kind of sitting here in the 70s. 450, 455, I think you could take that trade. I just don't like how far you're giving it, or how, in terms of where your stop is going to be. I don't want to risk 10% on the secondary move. On the first move, you might, but not on this move. Brandon, what's up?
Another one from the volume list here this morning, guys. CRISPR Therapeutics, CRSP, down 8.5%. Working its way back higher, though. This is $98 here, big time level for both the daily chart and if you go out even higher time frame, long time ago, this 98 to 100 area, big time level for this stock. They're a cancer-focused company. They had a trial of a treatment and reported a death during that trial. So negative, obviously, for the trial and the company. CRSP, guys.
All right, Microsoft comes out and we flush ourselves down the toilet. Sorry about that one, guys. We will lose every once in a while, and there's another one there, and that is Microsoft. It does come off the bottom there. It's not a huge hit, but it does break to the downside. And again, like, I love to celebrate this hold on Square because it's a hero hold and it's a great one up to 182.50. But okay, now we're crashing down. Thing is, I lost on Microsoft what I'm going to make here on Square. So damn it, wish I would have managed that a little bit better. I have targets of 179. Downside on Square. I just think it can break. There's really nothing here. Even if I drop down to like a 10-minute chart, Square's just been laughing high side. There's no levels down here. You can come all the way down here to 179.90. That's all the way back in early October. So I don't know. If the futures go down, I do like Square to continue that march to the downside. So we'll hold that a little bit. And Microsoft is the one that we fell on. So watch out for the NASDAQ here. I think you might want to pick some up. Facebook is a hell of a lot stronger. We did look at Facebook today and noticed that was pretty strong. So maybe let's have a look over there right now.
Yeah, it's just Facebook actually just turned a little bit, of course, with the market, but it is rather strong today, up about 5%. Nikola's also up 5%, despite giving back off of that pre-market high. We talked about 23.50. We like it. That's great, but we're ways away from that level right now. I'm going to be looking at this 22. We've already held a bit of a higher low off of 21. We talked about a potential bounce there in the pre-market. Now that it's happened, we'll take a different shot for the long trade. I'll still like to break out at 23.50. I think that's a squeeze. I think we can get another smaller one here through 22 if it ever gets there, and then I'd work that one into that 22.60 open to 22.60 to 22.80 pre-market and open area, which was off of that fade that you saw there at 7 o'clock, guys. So that's going to be the structure in Nikola. I still like the break if it ever gets to 23.50, but for now we're watching 22.80.
All right, so you hear the alarm. That means there's a new position alert. And I did take Facebook. So if we can just zoom in a little bit here. We did take Facebook long, 281.14. Seeing if we can get at least back to this level, 281.74. So that'll be a big win if we can get that. Facebook making that money back. I told you we'd go long on something, make back our softy money right now. Facebook, yes, sir. Hit the slap shot. Let's get out of some of these, though, as we go. Facebook now making moonshot to the right side. Bang! There it is. A nice little 50-cent win. We make back that softy money on Facebook. Get long there, 281.13. Look at this. This is what we lost 30 cents on Microsoft, right? This is 55 cents in the money right now on Facebook. So let's just keep going. Upgrades and downgrades with Brendan. Make it quick, my friend.
Yeah, indeed. Let's jump right into things here, guys. Upgrades on this side, downgrades over there. We talked about, obviously, both of these upgraded today. Netflix down, but a couple of upgrades for Netflix. Procter & Gamble earnings earlier in the week. Both of these trading at all-time highs right now. The entire downgrade side, big-time negativity, Oxy and Work. We'll show you that in a second here, but all of them in negative territory. P&G here to the upside. Bit of a grind so far from 142 up to just approaching 144 now for Procter & Gamble. The other one, Work, yeah, we mentioned the flush at the open here all the way down to 28, but looking like it might want to test higher, guys, for Work. Back to you.
All right, well, he takes it seriously. That was really quick. Okay, thank you, Brendan. Square now making moves back to the upside. So, again, this stock may not be as great as we thought it would be to the sell side here today. So we got to watch out for Square. We did have maybe delusions there that this was going to go down. As I'm even in the short, I talk up how much I don't like the short and how much I like the company. So we're going to wait out for this, man, 180.50. I'd hate to get out there, as I think if it cracks that, we break a lot lower. But that is Square right now, making moves to the downside. And obviously, guys, don't forget Hydration Nation's back in the building.
And still moving up here is Pinterest. It did try to make a test or make a run. It did to 52. Just got shy of it. Now, when it broke that high of day, I threw out that trade at 51. That's why you're going to not see me triggered in. I was only taking that retracement on Pinterest if it failed to make a new high, but that didn't happen.
Look, it's
We're still trading upbound here. I'd almost like to see it break 52 to the upside. Maybe take a scalp trade there, and then think about any kind of a short. ASTC. I mean, this is like the third time I'm going to talk about this name and being patient and then going to miss out on a short trade. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel. I'm not going to try and get this 475. It looks like the rollover was right here at 450. And if it ever breaks that 370 mark, I think it'll get a nice little flush there. The volume is crazy on this one, so it's another good one for a candidate for a later push in the session, whether it's like 11 or 12, maybe in the afternoon. I would watch. If this 370 never breaks, and then you get some sideways action, and then a break back up above 450, that's going to be a long signal for me. Speaking of things that are later on, if I can throw that little segue in there for you guys, yeah. You might have heard Sean say this morning. He talked about the RSI indicator. We're dropping a video on that one on our Market Wisdom page, so do check that one out. I thought I'd throw that nice little segue because there's a few stocks today, given the movement that we've seen, are probably hitting that overbought or oversold category.
Yeah, I was just saving my chart because it keeps on changing the locators for me, but or the RSI. So now there it is. You can see it there on the screen. We are dropping that vid for you. Is that what the cool kids say? Vids? Okay, 281. Look, I have an offer upside. We got out basically at the perfect spot there on this Facebook move for 50 cents, but we're still in it, man. Now we're in the money 50 cents again, 281.13. So as we go, it's 60.63. So a nice little 50-cent win. I do have an offer to go on the upside here. I may just, actually, no, I'm just going to cancel that offer. I did like this up here in the 90s, but now we're ripping north side. So why not just hold on to this? Why? Because look, we were able to take back some of our cash there on Square. We did do the hero hold. We talked about that. It's coming up to view up. I'm not going to go long here, although I wonder if a Square view up break long is what it's all meant to be here, and a great trade. But here we go. We're going to get out of that one, which is fine. It's not fine. We lose. But here goes Facebook, guys. So again, we lose on Square, 100%. That's a failure. We missed the boat on that one, but we do not miss the boat on Facebook as we go long and strong. Now 75 cents in the money on this name. Let's get it out here. If we can get out somewhere in the mids here, would be pretty good. 282.15 or so is where I'm going to put my order, guys.
Yeah, just going to quickly come back to Nikola. It has not yet. I mean, I'm going to say yet because it's looking like it's going to break this 22. That's also going to be VWAP if that's what you happen to be watching here. But I'm looking at that 22 level for the break to the upside, maybe squeezing into 60 and then 80. I also have this A-core. I'm giving it to 95. Usually I give it to 100, but I don't want to risk 10% on this move on day two. I'll take another shot if it gets to like 115 or so. One last one to get to. I do have an order, and this is going to be a new one. We've held below 500, at least for now, on Netflix. So it was a great break up. That's great. We're going to roll some of that into a potential short through the low. If Netflix cannot hold this opening range bottom 94, I know pre-market is about 50 cents lower than that. If that bottom gets taken out, I'm going to swing into a short here, see if we can't get something down into where, like, it dropped to like 485. So in the aftermarket yesterday, if I saw that on a break, I would not be terribly surprised. 500 was a level that I thought could hold. Once it didn't, I'm switching to a bearish trade as long as below that price level. I'm not longing it until we see like 475 or 500 or above. In between, I'll try to be net short.
Okay, Facebook doesn't go up as far as we wanted it to, but we still have that order waiting under the high side here. Look at the NASDAQ failing a little bit. Let's get out if it does break, though, kind of. You know what? I mean, we can almost hold this all the way back to 280.96 or so. It's kind of the bottom of this. I don't want to hold it all the way to the bottom here, so let's make sure that we do put some money in our pocket from this trade. 280.90 or so, which is a while from here, but that's going to be our out just in case the NASDAQ does come back down. Remember, there's still stimulus and whatnot issues around, so that could be a problem at some point. Don't know when, but Brendan maybe has some news on that.
Apparently more comments coming out of the White House this morning talking very positively, saying that it is still possible that that could happen. So it might be part of the reason why we're seeing this move up this morning in the futures. PHR here, another one from the healthcare group, guys. All-time highs this morning after announcing quite a large offering in the pre-market, but they don't seem to care. 12.5% for PHR, guys.
So you get reverse splits announced and stocks will go up. You get offerings announced, and PHR is going to go up. Like it's hard not to look for places to when you see something like that happen in like a PHR. It's hard not to look for an opportunity to fade it. and then it's going to be impossible when I immediately pull up a daily chart and see 37 was the high back in May, and 37 is literally to the penny where it turned around. So I got traded in Nicola here, 22. 03 is going to be my price, so we're swinging into a bit of a long trade there. But I'm going to short this PHR off 37. It's just that simple. If it breaks that price, fair enough, I'll get out, but it's going to give me shot right in front of multiple reasons to get that. And it's also a daily chart level. It's a psychological level at 37. It's already tested it and turned right at 36.99. So I'm going to take a shot here. The volume's not huge on this trade, so you do have to watch out. It's not going to be, you're not going to be putting on a gigantic one here. Nicola, first target quarters 50s, and we talked about 60 to 80. That's the ultimate range to the top. I still like a 23.50 break if it gets there.
Oh my God, it's still, yeah, Nicola, I didn't even realize Nicola was back. What am I doing? Wake up. There. Someone's talking about, I canceled that Nicola order, but obviously Neil and I have talked about that trade over and over again, 23.50. That was a pre-market level there on Nicola. So have a look. And thank God DraftKings is back from the dead a little bit. I did mention if you're going to start a position, it was like 47.48 and then take some out, buy some yesterday or a couple days ago when we went down as low as 40. Maybe we can see that on a daily chart. Oops. That's not a daily chart. This is hopefully a daily chart. Yeah, we ticked down to 41 and change yesterday. Now trying to make that move. All we need to do is clear 45.50. That's that 50 period moving average on the daily chart. That's what I love in order to give the go ahead on longs. But 45.60 there has to come through on DraftKings. And then so far today, it's been a pretty good one for DraftKings, obviously. Up 1.93%, breaks that VWAP. But if you want to trade on DraftKings right now, you got to have it come back down here, man. 43. We'll see if we can defend some 43s on this one and then take it back to the upside. So it's getting close. Let's see if we can't go long and then look to bounce off this little VWAP level here, 42.90. So I think we're going to get longer on the downside here of DraftKings, but watch out, man. Futures right now look to be cracking down and then they stop and make moves back upside. So be very careful here with any of your longs in the futures.
Yeah, I mean, this long in Nicola, we're going to go with, I don't know, it works for the space, but not necessarily running it. Maybe the short's running out of gas here, and obviously not gas. Pun not intended. 20-cent move for the first leg in front of 22.50 on Nicola. Once it breaks into the 50, I'll take a little bit out there, and then we'll get into our target range for the second half, that 60 to 80 price. Still looking at 23.50. That's sort of a different play. Let's just quickly jump over to like a 15-minute chart so you can see if and when it breaks this 23.50 mark held in the pre-market here, but you can also go into last week, the 15th and 16th, when it was resistance. So I like that for a separate trade. This is more the fact that we just happened to bounce off these levels from yesterday, 21 even, which we pointed out. When we went over this in the pre-market here, I didn't take the long off the bounce. I had to wait till the break of 22, but I was only taking it if we didn't violate that 21 level. We didn't. Got the long. Already have a little bit out for a nice little winner here. ASTC. Forget about those pops. $1 ago is where I wanted to short it the first time. $1 lower is where I might end up shorting it now as it threatens 370. Continues to come in to the downside, but I'm not going to shy away from it. If it breaks this 370 mark, I'm jumping into this trade. Look, off the earnings play here, it did get down on a pullback to like 256. So the crazy in me thinks maybe it has that far to go. This $3 level is a more reasonable target on that short. And I will, of course, always get some out in front of those 50s if I get the trigger in. It hasn't broken yet. If it bounces off this level, there is a long play coming if it cannot break 370. Brennan, what's up?
We mentioned Tilray a little bit earlier, but here goes CGC. Volume spike here to the downside, it would appear, though. We broke 20 on the way up there, coming back in 220. So even CGC, guys, up 6.5% on the day.
Even CGC, yeah. I mean, these marijuana stocks, man, are going to be hot fire for a while, especially if there is a blue wave coming. We talked about that and that rhetoric coming through. So good little trade there, hopefully, for anybody long the weed stocks, which I gave that call early October. You can go back on Twitter and find that one. It's there. So hopefully you guys are making that with us. Oh, by the way, guys, Facebook, hell yeah, there it is. Hit the chicken dinner winner. That's $1 clean on Facebook there. Long at 281.14, out at 282.14. So a nice little runner there for us on that name. So that's a good trade for sure. We'll watch to see if that can do anything. Now even higher side now on Facebook. We'll see. I don't know. We'll wait on that one. DraftKings as well, man. Big time win on DraftKings. As right now, Bitcoin breaking. We're trading a little bit of GBT BTC here. Big move to the upside right now. We've traded a little bit today, I'd say, but making moves now. Bitcoin, Brendan will come with that. DraftKings as well. We're long right now at 27, so you can obviously see where that's at right now. It's at 32, so not a huge win for us. Are expecting a little bit more here on DraftKings, obviously, than this. So we'll wait to see some upside moves here if it can come through. That's DraftKings. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking half of it out maybe for 30 cents right ahead of this 50 level and then seeing if we can't get back to the high side. So let's put an order 43.50, take 25 cents, and then try and see if we do have a top in DraftKings.
I'm going to go with some Superman action, and every time we beat up on Hertz, it always feels like we're back at home. Tuck the rollover trade, I got a couple of legs in here at 166. It didn't really give the test to 175 to get that better price, but like we mentioned all day long, when this settles down, you got to be happy taking 5 and 10 cent wins on this stock when it's not going to give you the bigger moves. It might do that if it breaks 150, but I'm going to put some orders in towards that low of day. Was looking for the rejection off that 175 to 180 level. That's what we got. We short the first consolidation, and now we're profiting from it. Nickel is back to like 22.30 here. I'll get somewhere out in front of 22.50, and then we'll enter that range of 22.60 to the upside. I don't see anything on GameStop, and Brendan just mentioned to me in the chat here, he doesn't necessarily see anything either. But GameStop moving once again, it's up a couple of percent. I'm going to start watching, and obviously you look at the last couple of days, it's had some trouble breaking through that 15 level, but also this 14.50 looks like it could be an interesting thing to watch here on GameStop. So I'm looking at those two levels on GameStop. If I see any news or we get any update from Brennan, of course I'm going to defer to that, but not really seeing a reason for why it's up. So it could just be squeezing off a bounce at support. Got a couple of small caps on one, which I just took off, but Brendan is at the big screen for our small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, let's talk small cap world. Lots of them moving around once again today. It's been very busy this week as far as small caps are concerned. This one, WEI, big move up yesterday. We're on the way back down. This thing had already come off from $8 down to where we were in the pre-market here, 4.5. So he had to kind of tread lightly because this was already a huge move. I'm not showing the entire pre-market here, but already a huge move to the downside for WEI in the pre-market. But let's talk about 415, 420 was a little support, ended up being resistance, gave you an opportunity right before the open there. So this doesn't look like much, but this is actually 350 down here. So 4 in, 350 on the way out there. I took it out before the open, but obviously should have helped because now we're way down at 2 for WEI. Can't give up on those as quickly. Let's go to PLIN. It doesn't get much easier than this one this morning. 180 resistance up here in the pre-market. 160, a little bit of a pivot through this entire pre-market action. I took the break on the way down here with the idea when you take the break of a range, if it gets back into that range, you kind of have to revisit it versus kind of fading it into that level with a tight stop. So we're down to $1 even for PLIN. One more MRIN. Yeah, it was very tough to get locates on this, but was able to get some right before the open. 280 and then 3. A bit of a pivot here, obvious one in the pre-market. We're all the way down to 180, guys. Big move for MRIN. Back to the downside. Back over to you.
Yeah, we talked about that MRIN a couple times there, and you even mentioned that to me in the pre-market there, Brendan, about how crazy that stock was. Okay, we've averaged into DraftKings now. We have about half a unit worth of risk. We see this $43 staring us in the face. We're not going to give it too much room off that, of course. That's $43. My Facebook trade just triggered, so when that happens, you get out right away. That was, again, another stop order that we had in there just in case our long didn't work, so we got to get out. So there it is. Take a hit on Facebook, but that's not a real hit there. We didn't mean to get that. Let me just clean up my orders. As you can see, the market coming back to the downside now. Perfect outs on Facebook, and then a little bit of a wash trade right there. So yeah, making moves now is Facebook to the downside. I don't want to say perfect, but man, that trade on Facebook right there was, where's my perfect? Was pretty much perfect. In on this bottom, out on that little break, and then out here in the middle as we gave it to you for the clean dollar. So a nice little trade there on Facebook. Really happy with the way that one turned out, guys.
Yeah, I told you guys here, ASTC, if it held 370, I'd take a shot at a long trade off of that level. it holds. So 375 looks like a bit of a bottom. I'm just going to use the same look. The order I had to go short, I can flip it into the out for my long, and if I want to reverse, I can just put another stop in to go short if it does break that bottom. But let's see if it can't get back that 450 mark. If it breaks that, I would get most of it out in front of 5 even. Again, when these stocks come off these lows, you have to anticipate that a test back into like a level like a 5 or a VWAP is going to be past 10%, and there might be a halt going into it, which I want no part of. So it's going to be a stop at 370, a hard stop no matter what. I just got my second leg in, so risking about 30 pennies to see if we can get out between an average price of 450 to 5 even on the way up. And I'm not trying to hold much of anything past 5, anticipating we could be staring a halt in the face, which even going into money for me, I don't always want to be holding a long trade going into that halt. I'll go quickly back over to Nikola. Running into a bit of resistance. It's not terribly surprising. I mean, this is where we opened at 22.44, right off that 50. So the fact that we're seeing some chop in there, fair enough. I'll get some out if we dip into the 40s again, but still want to hang on for a bit of a bigger move. The rejection here would probably lead me to give it back into that break even, as opposed to giving that trade some more room. But once I've taken a profit level, I'm always open to structuring the trade where I will take some out at a break even stop, or maybe not as deep as I was a little bit earlier. So that's the adjustment here on Nikola. Still have the same target to the upside, that 60 to 80 range.
Yep, and that's what you need to do, guys. You need to adjust your stuff. You can't just always stay with the same plan of action. You got to sort of judge what the market's doing and play off of, not just what you think, but sort of what the market is telling you, right? And so that's a good little tip there. Obviously, as Neil and I continue to trade these markets, we're going to continue to give you guys the goods and what we think is happening on a lot of these names. So here comes DraftKings, man. You asked about it. We did step into it. Our average price is 16. I do like it. I said we'd like to get long if it came back in. This is pretty good. I mean, our average price is 16. We did start early. That's why that's our price, but I'm not going to average in anymore. We do have a downside target now of 42.85, which would be a break of this VWAP and then a little bit lower down here. So if we can get through all of this, then yeah, DraftKings is a fail, man. It looks like it's going to do that as well. Crushing size on the bid, not a good look here. Maybe we'll get a little bit out, but we're trying to hold this for a little bit. Here it comes right back to the upside. So let's get out a little bit if we can for maybe a 10-cent hit, and then hold the rest. I'm going to get out 20% here, guys.
I saw someone in the chat like, why is nobody shorting Snap? I don't know. Maybe because it's strong like bull. At some point, look, everything can reach a point that's a little bit too high, and you start considering it. 37.50 is looking like that level right now, and that's temporary. I got to tell you guys, you can see the little pip of our good friend, that little that magnum of champagne. But in my line of sight, there's like a bunch of cameras, so you guys don't see this in the shot, but like literally right there, in between all this mess of cameras, I see the actual bottle just like staring me in the face, teasing me. And we only get to crack that bad boy if we get to 100,000 subs. I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling pretty thirsty. There's been some good trades today. And I mean, Snapchat continues to go to the upside. You saw that one very, very strong. Pinterest is also still at least attempting to push towards highs. It broke 52 very, very briefly before coming back in. So both those names running to the upside. Let's see if Nikola can go with it. I finally got the ATSC long, but Brendan is right next to that tasty drink, and he's got news for us.
It's also staring me in the face, but over there, yeah. Yeah, guys, help us get to 100,000. We can have that for our treat if we do get to 100,000. GSX, I wanted to mention this online education company, GSX Tech Education, another Chinese-based company. So all week long, we've been talking about the strength in China-based companies, China-based stocks. This one coming back in today after earnings. So GSX, 26%. Market's coming off a little bit. This one, yeah, big move down. However, the 75 area could be a problem for GSX. About an hour left, guys, in the session over in Europe. Valeria is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey, Brendan. Well, European shares fell for the third straight session today. Nestle lifted its 2020 sales forecast, but despite that, stocks still slightly down. Back to you.
Yeah, you can trade both over in Europe, obviously, and in the U.S. as well, guys. Nestle.
Come on, Nestle. You can do it. DraftKings can also do it, guys. A nice little win, man. We hold on to it. And yeah, just like gambling, we're getting some chicken dinner winners here right now. I think I like the over in tomorrow night's football games. There's only 43 between. They're two pathetic offenses. I know that. It's the Jets. So hold your breath. Or no, it's not the Jets. Sorry. It is the Giants, the other amazing New York team, versus Philly. So not going to be much scoring, but I think 43 a little bit too low. Look at DraftKings, guys, right now. We'll just keep hitting the swishes. No more NBA, no problem. You can see DraftKings taking it out of the upside. A nice little 20-cent win here, topping off our day and making it just that little much better for us. So it's DraftKings, so far so good. We did take some out for a loss at 43.06, that's for sure. Then we make that loss back right there, and now we're just playing with house money, as you like to do when you're gambling. So here we go to the upside. DraftKings target right here, man, mid-40s. If we can get some out in the mid-40s, that'll be a 35-cent win, so we'll take that. And here it comes, guys. So let's put our orders out and get out.
Here's the cash cow. Look, well, obviously there's better stocks that have been the cash cow today, but I just happened to hit that button, so I got to roll with it on Nikola here. It does take out that 22.50. Of course, like I said, I get out in front of it, so you get that 20 to 25-cent move off the break. You get the next leg up, which is twice that. Now we're gonna, if we get into this 60 range, which we just barely ticked into it here, I'm gonna trail it to this bottom, which is basically still break even. So it's not 22 even. It's gonna be like 22.05. It's a very, very slight change, but I stick with it. If it had been 15, I'd move it to 15. I'm looking to see if we can break to that 22.80. If we can't, if we turn around at like 75.80, I will then get out southbound at that 60 level. But for now, it's still a break even stop on Nikola. Gotta get over to Netflix. Let's go to Netflix. Do we even have? I feel like we should. There we go. Yes, we actually have a Netflix one. We were going long before Netflix, but I told you guys if it broke that bottom at 493.50, I would take it short. I got it at 47s. I just got a quick little scalp out there for $1.50. I'm looking at this bottom I mentioned here on the pre-market, post-market, that it got all the way down to 480.46. If it got down to that price, I'd be elated. If it breaks 90, I would move a trail upside, and I'm going to hang on for see how deep this one goes down. Initially thought bullish here above 500, but it just couldn't sustain up to 510. Once that happened, you have to go with the price action on Netflix. So as much as I wanted to be a buyer above 500 today, we took our shot. We both won. Now looking for the short. The momentum in the market starting to come back in, and oddly enough, I found myself with nothing short, so well, in a big name, so I had to pick up some Netflix to the south side. Let's see how far we go down on this name, guys. Nikola running into resistance to that 22.60.
And I just can't believe, what's happening with some of these Bitcoin names here today. We can check out GBTC. Haven't really done overly well, but it's just going up, up, up and away, and I keep getting psyched out by all the size here. So not a great one there. But GBTC, if you're looking at it, a good name. Went up to Jeff Mendel there, our good friend from the OTC markets. Are you kidding me, I had an order at 36. I thought I got out, and I didn't. It looks like we ticked the 40. I guess I made the 36 and never got hit. So sorry, once we didn't get into the 40s, I thought I got another 20% out at 36 there, and I guess I didn't. So, okay, my offer's still there. So 43.36 on DraftKings. Hopefully that can get them going, keep going back to the upside there, DraftKings. I don't know. It's been a big name. Obviously, 11 million shares. That's decent. I don't like how this is fading back in right now. Damn it. A little upset that we didn't get that 43.36 there, but we'll get it, though. Hopefully, it comes back up. We will get that one. Let's check back in. Are you kidding me, Neil? Square what? Now. I know we both had that. Now you do this?
I don't want to see it.
So Square goes right up to this VWAP. We held it for a very, very long time, longer than I wanted to. 9:51. We hold it all the way to 10:14. I mean, that's only 25 minutes. But now look, the puke city happens. We flush ourselves down on the hole there with Square. But look at that. Really happy we called the move, but not happy that we don't have it on. So if and buts are candies and nuts. Does that make any sense? But right now to the downside. Oh, we had you, Square. I better have some Hydration Nation now to relax. Wish this was vodka, but it is straight water. It's been a big day. Oh, I see you, Valeria. I forgot about the Russian thing there. Valeria, I mentioned vodka, and I got a little twinkle in the eye there. But no, Valeria, this is straight water, so don't worry about that. I got it.
If you say vodka and water, I know you're going to remember this one. So on the trading floor here, you're going to see it behind us, Day Trade, the world trading floor. If you want to trade the firm's capital, you have to first be hired. Then you have to graduate from being a trainee. I won't name the name because that wouldn't be fair, but there was a particular trader who at his graduation party, somebody decided that instead of handing him a glass of water, that a glass filled with, I don't know how this happened at an actual bar because I think it's illegal, filled with vodka let's just say I have never seen a non-track athlete. I know speed when I see it. I've never seen someone run to the can so fast, and it was an ugly sight. I didn't do it. It wasn't me, but that's a cruel joke. Square is a cruel joke as well. I'm actually going to tweet this one out because why not? Look, exits don't get any worse than this. I didn't even give this much room. Now, I would have been stopped if I was going for the higher stop area. It certainly would have been at 182 area as well. So there's almost no way I was hanging on to this short. So it is what it is. We say it over and over again. Calls can be great every now and then. The execution is going to be off. But it did feel like with the JP Morgan news here, Sean, that if there was something to short, obviously PayPal had its positive catalyst that Square did not, and that's why you could have faded this one. Turned out to be right. Just wish we could have taken advantage of it. I mean, I can't even say there was a way that I would have made money on this trade the way I was reading it today. So it is what it is, guys. If you had it on that 185 on the way up, congratulations. I did not.
I mean, I feel like I had a fantastic read on Square, which is the problem, which is why I'm upset, because I think we had this name. Obviously, like I keep saying, it doesn't really matter because I don't have it now. But I liked that trade. I only gave it up to here, and it basically, for 40 more cents, we could have had like a $4 winner. Damn it, that happens sometimes. Not much you can do. Okay, DraftKings, and here's another one, man. I thought we got out upside, and we did it. So now we're back to flat on DraftKings. We're long at 43.10 right here. This has been a fun one, but look at the market now coming to the downside. So you got to watch out for Square breaking some necks. DraftKings, and the futures breaking downside. So 42.90, is that where my out is? Just to give you guys, yeah, exactly. We've already talked about that. So 42.90 is going to be the out on that name. Let's check back in on Facebook. A big time win for us on Facebook. This was a great trade, man. In at 281 and change, out at the very top of that move. Now you're bouncing off view up. I think this is an interesting spot to look at. If I zoom this in just a little bit more, you can see bottom of the day here, banged it off. In again. So I think that Facebook right now defending 280 seems like a decent play, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook has been one of those names that early on in the show when we first started putting it on, I used to trade it a heck of a lot more than now. While I was giving that little speech, it's crazy that I mentioned this 4 even area on ASTC with a 370 stop, risk 30. First leg out is usually going to be for me if you watch the show right at that 30 mark. I just canceled my order at 30. This is exactly where it turned around. At $4.30. So I'll go a little bit, closer to the 425 in case it gets back. I just want to have some out so that if it gives you some bounces and consolidates lower on 75 million volume, I can get in and out and work this trade off of that 370 low. You can't. I don't do that. My sort of rule of thumb is once I'm in position with whatever your risk happens to be for the trade, even if it gives me great opportunity to consolidate and I like it more, I'm not taking more until I've gotten some of my scalp target out. And once I do that, then I can jump back into the trade. It's a way of managing risk that I find works for me. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but that's the way I like to play it. So I'm not getting any more until I get a hit between 425 and 430. Brendan, what's up, bud?
I just saw this overstock, guys, breaking to the downside here, 1.8% on decent volume. Market coming off a little bit as well. Was positive in the pre-market, decently, in fact, to the upside, but they faded it. If you remember back about a month ago, we were talking about T0 getting a license in the U.S. for discount brokerage. Looks like that has now begun operation. So a little bit of news on overstock, but trading lower.
I see there's an interesting conversation going in the chat. Everyone talking about Sean brings up vodka, and I'm going to throw it out there. I'm more of a bourbon guy, but also gin's pretty good. I want to jump back over to Netflix. We talked about maybe beating up on this one a little bit once it turned negative. Here's that 490 mark. So I still have the stop at 495. I'm not going to move it until there's a break of 490. At that point, I'd like to trail it probably in and around that same price. And if it gets down to like 87, we've already given the look. It's going to look a little bit better on the 15-minute chart. So you sort of look at this gap to the downside. We tried the upside break. I thought maybe we'd fill it in. But I'm just looking at this bottom here, 46. That's where it got to the downside after market when the earnings miss was released. I'll take it out in front of that. I'm not expecting it to break any lower. If it does, great. Maybe someone holds longer than I will. I'm just not going to do it. So I love you, Netflix. But let's see if we can't go southbound. ACOR, and this was a mixed bag for me. I went over this a couple of times yesterday at how I broke my own rules. Today, I'm trying to be a little bit more patient with this. This is not a good trade to look at from the 1-minute chart. That's going to be entirely useless. Sometimes you want to go to the higher time frame where it makes some sense. This is the range that I'm trading with. So it's yesterday's bottom here, right at 88.89. right into this 95 level, which was the afternoon sort of support that got broken. So I work into the short off of 95. My price is actually just over 90 even, and I won't start getting it out until we test the 85 mark, which is low of the day, all the way down to its previous prices, 70 to 75. So that's the structure of ACOR. Sometimes look at the higher time frame because this doesn't make sense if you look at a 1 minute chart. It makes plenty more sense if you look at it on any higher time frame. It is already 1040. Wow. Let's go to Sector Watch, the big screen. Brendan, what's up?
Typical for earnings season, guys. We are higher on the day, but this is going to be a little bit deceiving right across the board again. 0.48%, about 0.5% for the S&P in positive territory. All these big ones that you see here are going to be earnings reports. Twitter, not so much, but still, as we said, the entire social media group kind of higher on the Snapchat report. We'll come back down here. Twitter leading the way right now. 6.8% for Twitter. Netflix to the downside, 5.7%. There's Facebook right beside it, 4.9%. Google down here as well, having quite the day, 3.5% for Google. Material shares way over in the corner here, higher. We mentioned the FCX leading the way a little bit earlier, still 3.5% there for FCX. Everything else kind of mixed down here. Energy stocks not really doing much, but financials and tech shares really leading so far. As far as strength is concerned in the banking group, the insurers having a very nice day, offsetting some of this other weakness. KeyBank yesterday reported earnings that were kind of in line with expectations. A couple of downgrades on KeyBank today, so down about 4% on the day. Everything else a bit mixed here as far as diversified financials. In the tech group, software companies, there's PayPal front and center, 4.2%. Semiconductors also on the move today. TER and TXN, they both reported kind of offsetting each other, so this group is definitely positive. These guys down here, hardware makers, also in positive territory. APH, WDC, and Keys among the leaders. So overall, a nice day, but it's all about this group right here, communication services and some of the consumer discretionary names popping back up as well. Look at Etsy, I just saw that, 2.6% to the downside, but Under Armour offsetting that, up 3%, about 0.5% to the upside, guys, for the overall market. Back over to you.
All right, Etsy there, good little look. Yeah, look, I mean, all of these like high-flying kind of techie names. Look at Facebook bouncing off 280 there. Wow, I hope you guys had that one. We talked about it when it was there. Now it's gone. I don't have it, but at least that was a good talk there on Facebook over 280. And now Rip City on that one. Okay, so I hate you, DraftKings. I'm going to cancel my 36. We didn't get it. Thought we did. Next time I'm going to hit a market key instead of offering and making a level. But we're still not out. It bounces off 42.80 there a couple times. You're bouncing off VWAP right now, so I think this is a spot where we can get a little bit longer right now and just see what happens to the high side here on DraftKings. I do like it, but we do have our downside target in, and it's getting very, very close. So I think this is worth putting on a little bit more risk down here on DraftKings and then seeing if it does hold that. Watch out for the futures. It looks like they're going upside, so that's good for us.
Yeah, and on a dime, Netflix hits $4.90 to the penny before turning around here, and feels like it's splitting hairs.
There we go.
I said I would trail it if it broke 490. It didn't actually break it, so I'm going to still hang on to this short trade. No reason to take it off just yet. I'm not going to break my rules over a couple of cents. But I do want to go back over to Pinterest just very, very briefly here. Here's the fall off. On pins, it does fail to break 52. I was looking for a short when it couldn't take out that high of the day at 51.50. If it couldn't, and it didn't, take it out. That's why I took the trade off. That's why you're not going to see me in the 51 short. I did change I switched gears on that trade. It has come back in, and maybe that was the one that we should have faded. I picked Netflix. It's already been a nice win. I want bigger on the second half. Brendan, what's up?
Nothing new, it looks like, on this MRIN, but big volume just coming back in here to the upside. Ended up holding $2 down here as support. We're all the way back up to nearly 3. Once again, still on the move for MRIN, guys.
Yeah, that's a big volume spike. And this one, I eventually got locates on this name, but we didn't have them all morning long. And it's that $3 level that was sort of honing in on, if it ever got back there. This is not usually the way you want to see it happen. Making a hard bottom at 2 and then spiking in volume up that squeeze central, I think that gives you an opportunity. I think it might halt on the way upside here. We're past that time when we don't see them in the first hour for whatever reason. So I would maybe even think about playing the squeeze off of like a 265 area retracement. If you can get something that's risking like 10, 15%, if this does squeeze up, you're probably looking at 4 rather quickly.
Okay, so the only thing we have on right now is DraftKings. We're looking to get into some more. Neil just talked about Netflix was a great trade. We did hit that early, and then it did fail back down. So in, and then we didn't take out that 507. Only if we had those glasses on that can tell the future, we would have known that it would have came all the way back down here. But I've not traded Netflix great on earnings days, so I think I got to put that in my cap and remember that. But I don't mind this break, 492.50 or so on the upside back here for Netflix. You could take that and then use 490 as the bottom. So I think we'll try a little bit there. 492.70 here on Netflix back to the high side if we can get that. But it's fading in, man. They don't like that report at all. So 492.50, small amount of shares, but let's try it, see if we get back up here, 495.
Yeah, I actually just said this in the chat. I'm going to go over this ASTC just a quick second. I talked about the targets already. If it gets back up to 425, 430, I'll take some out. It did test that 370 again, but hey, put another higher low. So I still like that level. It tested pre-market, held, tested 5 cents higher, held, tested 7 cents higher, and held one more time. And again, it's not that I think it's automatically going to go to the upside, and I would rather have faded this 1 through 5, but I didn't. Now you got to play the price action. I'm willing to give it that 30 cents. I think it's a reasonable stop on my average price of 42. I did take a little bit of MRIN here. I had to pay up to 17s. I mean, I talked about the three even break and then miss it, but I have to give it back as consolidation. I thought maybe it was about to halt on the way up. That wasn't the case. If it can hold this sort of 250 to 260 area, I think that's going to be the case to jump to the upside. And if it looks like it's going to halt on me, I'm immediately jumping out of that trade regardless of the price that's going to be. I do not want to be holding through a potential halt on MRIN, even if it's in my favor, guys.
Yeah, no, halt's dangerous to hold through. Okay, Netflix doesn't go, so we may be more right than we think here on Netflix on the day. So I'm going to cancel that bid through 42.50. It doesn't look like that's going to have any fun, and it just looks like it's actually breaking the bottom right now. 490. What up, B?
iRobot, guys, another earnings name here. The Roomba maker reported aftermarket yesterday. Yeah, nice spike up all the way to 114. But look at this reversal this morning. A couple of downgrades, actually opened around 92, all the way down to $78 now for IRBT.
I'm moving my stop on MRA into 280 here. I just added some more shares in, and it looks like it might be rolling over on me, so I want to keep the risk the same. So that just moves the stop from like that 50 to 60 area up to 80. It does look like if it's going to jump anyways, which it might here, it's just a pure squeeze play, guys. And if it looks like it's going to halt on me, like I said, I'm going to be getting out, but 350 the first leg. And then we talk about this. I'm not making this one up right here at 406. So let's round it up to 420. Which makes no sense, but I'm doing it anyways. Let's see if MRIN can go to the upside. It might halt before it gets there. I got to get to Netflix because this is like the second time that it's bounced off of 490. It's hard to ignore that, so I'm going to move my stop to the top end of this range, 492.50. That's still going to be a $1 win, but a double bottom off of a 490 area when I open the day sort of bullish on the stock. I'm not going to completely ignore it. If it flushes, I hope the momentum takes it right to my target here in front of that 46 area that we talked about in the morning. But I have to move my stop here to 492.50. I'm short of about $1 higher than that.
All right, let's look at Softy here. It looks like it wants to break here some pivot points. We can go over to Microsoft here on the board. Okay, Microsoft, yeah, oh, there it goes. It just breaks through view up. We just missed that 215.20 back now down through view up. Look out for this market. They probably give back today. Like we're up 0.43%. Market looking pretty weak here. I don't mind this short on Microsoft. We normally like to look long, but that's okay. Just looking at another time frame here. 25s, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this it looks fine to me. Let's get it back a little bit if we can. I guess it's near 215 right now. Sorry, things are just moving around a lot here, and I'm just looking at many different things. 214.90 on that break. If we can get that break to the downside, let's start a position here in Microsoft short, guys.
Yeah, just so moving some stops around here, but I want to take you guys back to the sleepiest trade of the day, and I'm always happy when I don't have to talk about a Hertz short. That just simply means that it's doing what it's supposed to do, which is fading all the way in here, guys. I just got some out on the south side of 160, so towards that low of day, which is 155, I will take most of it out. I hopefully should have, if everything goes right, no more than like 30 to 40% of the position left. MRIN looks like it's going to run out of juice for me here, and this is going to happen if you put a tighter stop in than what you originally liked because you wanted to dig into some more shares around the top. you have a higher probability of getting wicked out, but that's part of the game. There is no managing your risk or sort of mitigating risk without giving up some upside, and that'll be true if we cannot hold this 280. I think at this point, if we see a 280 hold, definitely going to take some shares out here a little closer to that 50 mark than I would have before. Certainly once it breaks through there, I want to have at least half, see if you can get a bigger move there. But MRIN, the volume is still picking up here. That 280 looks like it's going to be an interesting level to contend with. One more to get back over to, guys. I talked about Netflix already, but this one has been a slower mover, much like Hertz. And Acor, if you're watching this stock here, my initial entry price was down around this 88. I'm not taking anything off until we get to the low of the day. Had a higher time frame look at this, giving it to 95, not taking it off till it breaks down towards 85. Time for some money talks. I know this is going to be interesting because crypto on the move.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Yeah, Bitcoin, the big one today. Chart over there. Yeah, 6.8% right now for crypto or for Bitcoin, 12,700 and change. Yeah, it's gone. We talked about 12,400 yesterday. Was that last kind of line in the sand as far as resistance? As we broke back above that 12,000 area, we're all the way up to 12,700 and change, as I mentioned there, 6.8%. Ethereum also following suit, 388 up 5.5% for Ethereum, so nice moves. Otherwise, actual currencies very strong today against the US dollar. Broad-based weakness again today for the second day in a row for the US dollar, with all things stimulus remaining unresolved. So everyone kind of waiting for what's going to happen for the stimulus plan. So the euro, the Canadian dollar, both higher. Look at the British pound also having quite the day, 1.7%. They're talking about going ahead with Brexit without any agreement with the rest of Europe. So 131.5 for the British pound. Japanese yen, Swiss franc sharply lower. Worth mentioning, 1% for the Japanese yen. Swiss franc down about 0.4%, back to 90 and change there. Australia and New Zealand also up more than 1%. US dollar very weak today, guys. Back to you.
Every time he says Swiss francs, I say bills foreign, Swiss francs. Before I die, I want my money in a Swiss bank. This is one of my favorite song lyrics. Why? Because I like a certain artist that none of you guys ever heard of, Ryan Leslie. Check him out, he's awesome. There's a seller here on MRIN. I threw it in the chat there, 330. Every time it broke back up, I was long here at 25s. I'd see it bust up, get like 5 cents, and then someone just dumps an order in here at 30s, and it can't break any higher. So all I'm going to do is lighten the load by 20%, sorry. And then if it dips back down, I can maybe pick some shares up in front of 3, improve my price, keep the same stop. So if it eventually breaks it, that's great. But the volume, it's like 24 million, so I want to get a little bit more nimble with this trade. That's the only reason why I took some off. I just dipped back in, slightly improving my price, still grinding higher. Volume still good, 280 still the same stop here, but I want to see if this one can go parabolic again. Of course, it's on our radar on the watch list because it already has. Netflix continues to hold 490. That's the reason why I've thrown the stop into 492.50. It actually feels to me like I should be thinking, I look at the market here trying to hold positive in the NASDAQ. It almost feels like maybe I should be breaking into a long trade if it breaks 492.50. I'm not there yet because of the weakness that Netflix already put in, but the longer we hold, if it bounces off 490 a couple more times, I'm probably going to change my sentiment rather quickly on Netflix.
So we started building, I mean, we got to watch the futures here, and of course Netflix has the earnings report, so the ER out on that one. I'm going to give this one upside to 215.60. We did take a short here, right at VWAP 215.20. That goes all the way down to 214.95. We didn't take any out, so I do think that this thing can still break to the downside. The NASDAQ is trying. If it gives it up, then we'll get out, obviously, of this trade, but I'm going to give it to 215.60. That's that high side there. One more average in, like around here, 40s and change, and then that will be it, man. I'm not putting good money after bad money after good here just to make a trade. It's 11 o'clock, so we are getting almost 11 o'clock. We're getting ready to see some downside moves, hopefully in the market, but we are very ears to the ground on some of the stimulus talks. We've talked about that, why we think that's important. You should obviously understand that as a trader. So we'll wait to see 215.45, another spot for Microsoft. That didn't go down to 10 there, did it? We are going to try to get some out. So our average price right now, 215.20. I do have a bid right here at 215 in case it does test the ultimate downside there again. What's up, B?
Yeah, market breaking downside here. This one following suit. FireEye just popping up on a volume scanner here. Tested higher, immediately reversed. Back to the downside here for FireEye. Software maker reports next week. No significant news on this, but it was up nicely on the day, reversing, guys.
For the record, when I said that song lyric about Swiss bank, I do not have any funds in a Swiss bank. I pay all of my taxes, and I'm an honest citizen. MRIN is breaking to the upside. I'm going to hit the rating money, and the reason why is because going into scalp mode felt like it was part of the right decision. Take profits out for those 20 cent wins. Get that little dip on the way up here. It just broke that 350 mark, so that seller that was at 330 is kaput. But every 20 cents or so, and it's happening here again at 350, it just seems to run out of steam. So I want to continue that theme of sort of selling at 45 into 55, buying the dips into 3 with a 280 stop on MRIN. I was kind of hoping with this volume spike that maybe it would start to go parabolic again, but this is more orderly, and if it's going to be more orderly, then I want to make sure that I'm taking advantage of every single dip if it wants to keep climbing in this fashion. So MRIN, I'm just going to get another leg out there. These are 30 cent wins off. Hopefully it gets to that $4 mark at some point. Just hasn't happened just yet. Sellers are coming back into MRIN.
Yeah, there's a few names there that I have not. What? Snapchat? I mean, Snapchat just keeps on going. So we're still in this Microsoft trade, and the amount of shares that I had on this break was too ridiculous. I didn't even realize what was going on when this happened. We got out like crazy. It does drop down below 34 again. And anybody who on my Twitter account there, you can follow it at TraderTV Sean or Neil Brendan as well. I put up a poll. Will Snapchat, this is unbelievable, be greater than 25% today? I'll find that poll and show it, but Snapchat right now 33 and just still running to the high side here. I wish we still had that. We would be probably done for the month of October if we still had that trade, but wow, Snapchat to the high side. I can't believe I haven't found my way back in. It's actually, quite frankly, embarrassing because the way the stock has been going, this was a good spot on the dip down to 36 and change. I don't know if it actually touched down here near VWAP. That would have been a fantastic spot, but now, I mean, we're just off to the races, Neil. Snapchat actually IPO'd, and maybe Brendan can find this, but I thought it IPO'd at 38 or something, or was it 28? We'll let the chart go. We looked at this yesterday.
It traded to 30, didn't it?
I think it might have IPO'd at 38.
I'll defer to you and Brendan.
I'm going to have to let this chart go, but yeah, we'll wait to see. Here it comes high side. Anyways, it takes a while for our charts to build it out.
Moonshot here to the upside. That took a little bit longer.
Yep.
Moonshot to the upside. Here comes MRIN. That $4 mark is coming pretty closely. So just got some out at 383. I've been sliding my stop up the entire time, and the dip buy is obviously going to be gone here. This is a pure momentum play, guys. This is not about endorsement of MRIN, and usually I like to retrace these, but moving up on volume is a good indication after putting in a hard bottom at 2 even, guys. So still have a 325 was my average long. Of course, my last dip buy was down around this 308 mark. But if it turns here, my stop is now up to that 350 mark where there was that seller before, 330 and 350. So if it breaks 350, I'm going to be all out of this one, lock in that 10% no matter what. If it even sniffs like it's about to halt, I'm punching out. That's just how it is.
So I found it 24 was the IPO. I found it $24 there on Snapchat. So now making 38 move right here. And what a big move this is. I really, and I really want to short this at some point today. But I mean, this move that this has had here has been insane. Like, this is a 1 minute chart. Like, there's 1, 2, 3 red candles in like the last, let's call it 20. So it's just going absolutely insane, even though the NASDAQ is coming back down. And when that happens, we go boom, because there it is again. We'll fall in a hole as Microsoft hopefully falls in a hole now. What a good out that was, man. We put our order rate down there, 215.04 out. So a nice little 20-cent win. Now we'll wait to see if it cracks this very bottom, Microsoft. But yeah, we're excited. Market's moving around finally here, guys. But that doesn't mean that we're done. We're not even close. It's 11 o'clock. Now we go to the big board with Valeria. Let's see what's happening overseas.
Hey guys, European shares are struggling to follow the positive trend set in the US. Spain is down 1.2%. Italy is down 1.28%. Germany is down 0.66%. And Britain is down 1.45%. Santamin is down more than 19% as the gold miner reported falls in production and sales for the third quarter. That's all with Europe, and I'll keep you updated. Back to traders.
I'm a Mortal Kombat guy, even though it's not Scorpion. We talked about this on the way up, and it's always important to have a structure of a trader, at least for something you intend to do before it happens. And we talked, and I mentioned here this level at 4. It's about like 4 and change, up to about 420 would be the high side target on that breakout. I do some dip buying here on that move, but overall, it's like a 320 long is the best way to think about it. I get some out right at $4 for the 80-cent win. The second it tries to turn at 4 even, breaks 4 even, immediately my stop goes higher to 375. I don't want any 10% retracement once it goes, or more than a 10% retracement. This is why you see it start to come back in. Maybe it's going to continue going, but I've made my long trade in this stock. I don't necessarily love hanging on to these longs for too long. I tend to get in and out of them rather quickly, so I had that target 320 to 380 the entire way. Great if you could have got 260s. I was a little bit late to that party. Brendan gave this one to you guys when it was making this move, and you definitely had a shot at 250. I didn't get it. I had it off of that $3 break. 320s where I had to pay it up to. Now it looks like it's trying to hold 350. Maybe it moonshots up again. I would never hold through any of those halts if you guys are still holding it, and I'd certainly be considering taking profit. It had a double top at 6 even, so even if it breaks at 4, I don't know how much further you expect it to go. If you have a chance to get another $2 out of this trade, oh God, you got to be selling it at $6 if this thing gets there. If it breaks 6, all bets seem to be off for me.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Watch out for everything right now, guys. Everything's moving around quite nicely in this market, so you got to be careful. Again, follow your patterns and just trade what you see. Microsoft, and that's what we did right there. It comes down to 215. If the futures don't break, we already are well aware of the damage that Microsoft can do to the upside, but today it's been fading back down. You can see, though, it's basically tied to the market. 0.32%, 0.38%. So as Microsoft goes here, you do have to be very, very careful of some of those patterns. What a nice little in right now again, man. 215.44 comes all the way back to VWAP. We got to get some out on the downside there if that does break back down. 215.19, I just put the bid at there. We'll see if that gets filled out. There it is. I mean, Monkey Shiner. There you go. MRIN. Was distracted with other things, but caught that one just at the right time. So thank you so much. And I'm glad that Neil was looking at MRIN today for a lot of you, and a good look there. We brought that name a lot. Good thing you caught it. I'm finding that's what a lot of the people are doing. A lot of our viewers are doing. They have us on sort of on the side. They're listening for key levels, and they're looking for stocks, and then they're doing their own research. So big ups to you there. Is it? Wait a minute. Did I say Money Shiner? It's Monkey Shiner. Yeah. I think I said Monkey Shiner. He's been giving us
not Money Shiner. You can get Money Shiner too.
Oh, there it goes. First of all, Neil, yeah, we'll just take that off. Chicken dinner winner right there on Microsoft again. Short, and out. We're waiting for the big move to the downside. What's up, Bren?
Foonware, guys. Just realized this Foonware, we've traded this on the show before, is back to penny stock status, but just popping up on a volume scanner, you can see a big jump to the upside. They just launched a new product, the largest co-living development in the U.S., solutions for the mobile side of things in that project. So Foonware getting a little bit of a pop here, back to 75 cents, guys.
I also just wanted to quickly point out, and thank you as well, Money Shiner. We appreciate all the super chats that we get, and we do the show obviously for free, show you guys sort of behind all of our heads and sort of what we're thinking about in real time. But MRIN, and this didn't really even have a catalyst, and this just because it didn't have news, it was moving, and we had an approach to it. That's why it's on the watch list. So I hadn't even traded it up until that point. So it's not as if we're just pigeonholing every single stock on that list to something that we can have a pre-market position on, or an opening position on. It's there because we think there's going to be opportunity in it, whether we get it or not. So I hope you guys are all signing up for that list and watching it daily. I will also say this, and I've said it a couple of times this week, and I want to keep reiterating the point that a stock is on this list, and then sort of the day 2, day 3 will happen. Sort of file it away, put it on a quote board, because these stay in play for more than one day. And sometimes the best opportunities are on day 2 and day 3. I made the mistake with NNDM having like 2 straight profitable days on it and then not watching it day 3, and it was just as good. So make sure you're following along and then keeping those, whether you have a spreadsheet or a sticky notes, it doesn't really matter. I got the iPad here. Have your symbols locked and loaded and maybe keep a few of them around for a day or two just to make sure there's not a secondary push. Netflix wicked me out right here at 492. I talked about that 490 hold. It broke, got 50 cents and came right back, but it looks like maybe I got out of that one too quick. I think it's the bias, liking the long initially, that maybe had me tentative with that short trade, which still looks pretty good. It is what it is. A winning trade's a winning trade. I'm not going to go against my rules. It's just my first thought was to be a buyer of Netflix today, and maybe that's got the best of me here on that short. Should have held it a little bit longer maybe.
One thing that we did, I mean, I was buying Netflix too today. One thing that didn't hit for us so far, and it's been a good one, and we make all the money back, Microsoft right now. We just get out there. Look at these wins. That's a 45-cent win. 45's down here to 02s, 43-cent win. Now we're waiting for it to break the bottom. We still have this on a 50-cent win right here for Microsoft. We're going to get more short if it does break here. 214.90 to the downside. What's up, B?
Tesla, guys, haven't mentioned this one very much today, but 2.5%. Lots of volume just coming in here through day highs. So a nice little pop here for Tesla. I just saw a headline saying they're going to go ahead and contact Model Y owners. If you remember back a couple of weeks ago, there was that incident with the roof coming off of a Model Y while it was in motion on the highway. So not a big deal, but Tesla having a nice day as well, guys.
Someone
the roof is on fire.
Yeah, I know. Someone has to make that joke. We don't need no water. And I won't say the next line because then we'll get ourselves in trouble. Let's go over to another name here. And we talked about Slack this morning. And of course, it was down off the downgrade. Testing, and I still, you know what, actually I have to go put this order back in. I don't know why I don't have that 29.50 break to the upside. I must have accidentally canceled my order, but I'll throw it back. I still like that top side break to maybe fill in some of that gap, but it's worth noting. It rolled over right off that level, so certainly that's usually a trade I would have had. I think it just got distracted by some of the other names, and it's going with the market here. So, long story short, the breakdown on Slack, maybe through like 20, maybe through VWAP or 29, certainly in play. I still want to be taking that gap fill to the upside if it breaks 29.50s. That's the order that I'm going to have in, but worth noting, that held. So if you like the short here in Slack, you certainly got multiple chances at it. You see it in the corner, and it keeps shifting on me. It was on the left, now it's on the right. That's our friend. That's our magnum of champagne. And the rules are, and I didn't make the rules because I say we can just drink it whenever we want, but the rules are we don't get to crack it open and enjoy it till we get to 100,000. So I don't know how close we are just yet because I don't have it here. I have a lot going on. We got screens and the chat and whatnot. But Valeria, I know you're monitoring it and you have a smile on your face, which means we got to be getting close.
Hey Neil, I know you're looking forward to pop up on that champagne, so do I. And I have good news for you. We're just 690 subs away from 100,000 of subscribers. So guys, hit the subscribe button right now if you haven't yet, and let's celebrate together.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
We love celebrating together as a family. Yeah, there you go, Neil. Yeah, do that little drink. He's got it right there. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's get going, guys. 690. Is it actually 690? Hopefully so. Let's get it. Let's get the 270 in the next 2 minutes so we can get that to 420 and have some real fun. As I literally was just talking about work, and it just continues to roll off here. The market is sliding downside, so picking some names that you like short, certainly going to be worth the play. I have to watch this ASTC break possibly down here because we worked this long. It's still putting in and holding higher lows. But at some point, this is usually something I'd be shorting, but it did make a bit of a bottom. We already saw what happened in MRIN, and if this holds a pre-market low, I still like the long to do a similar move back into 450 to 5 even. It's just not having the same pickup in volume. The fact that volume is continuing to trail off even after I got in, that's not a good sign. That's the exact opposite of what you want. If you're going long on a stock, it's still up 130%. So got to watch out for this. My stop is still at 470. At some point, I might tighten it up because the position doesn't warrant losing 30 cents on if the volume keeps trailing off like this.
Yeah, Nicola also trying to make some moves there on that name as we go. Also, DraftKings, we did get out of that before. That was a disaster. So DraftKings is a negative stock for us today. DraftKings and Square, the only two negative ones that we have on or that we've traded today. What's up, B?
Cell B, another bioscience company here, up 21%. Just broke day highs there on decent volume. They had FDA give them a rare disease pediatric drug designation this morning for one of the treatments they're working on. So Cell B, if you're wondering, coming into a pretty decent area here. 275, 280 might be trouble for Cell B, but positive news on that one.
Okay, we actually, Neil, quickly, new position alert. Flossing it off right now. We're just going to cancel some orders here because there it is. Microsoft breaks to the downside. And your boy has this. We talked about this. So we get the double outs right there. Now we'll hold this for even more, man. Microsoft was a negative stock, but no longer as we just take that out. Now the NASDAQ is falling back to the downside. So we have a 30-cent win on. We realistically, if you still have this on, you're laughing if you have any of this on. We took a lot of this out at 215. Then we just get some out at 66 there. 67 on the downside right here. So a good trade here. Still making moves. We're short 87 now. Big trade alert. Cowbells, catapult, whatever you want. Here we go, Microsoft. Downside. Let's go.
Let's go. And we've talked about this sort of on and off here. Where would you go short in Snapchat, and when is it time to roll over? You're getting some consolidation here at the top. Again, I apologize for the scaling in the chart because of that wick. But 38.50 is the absolute high. If we can hold below 38 with any sort of consolidation sideways action, I'd look for a break of whatever the bottom end is of that range. And watch out if you're long at ASTC. My stop is in. I'm not letting it break 370, so I already know how much I'm defying my risk. But if you have a manual stop, I kind of feel like the floodgates could open if it breaks that level. But I'm now watching Snapchat for a potential short position the first time today. I had it off the open. I'm going to go short. Yes, but I like this in Snapchat. It's breaking below 37.75, which is where I'm going short.
That's my spot as well. So I just went short. I mean, that's why I was trying to message to you because I think we had the same thoughts there. So I'm short Snapchat right now, 37.74. We both said, I said a while ago anyways, that I was hunting for a short. I liked it. I was waiting for this little area. Honestly, a little bit better would be down here to 57, but we'll wait to see. We now do go short Snapchat, and it's instantly 10 cents in the money. We're going to want to get some more. Now it's not. We're short 74. Now it is. This is what I'm talking about. Pretty violent, man. Put some bids down here in the 50s.
Yeah, I think one of the things is going to trail it all the way out. This particular trade, always going to look for both the last consolidation point on any dip, which is 36.65, and then VWAP here is usually going to be a bit of a target for us here on that name. I talked about ASTC, and I'm going to be negative on the stock. Why? Because I did not take much out. Anything out. I was trying to get 430s. It does break that 370 mark, so I'm done with the trade here. Just for me, it doesn't make sense to hold through that level. I think it's going to continue to head southbound from here. The retracement is in on STC. MRM was a great win. We'll have a small hit here on ASTC, but Brendan is ready. What's up at the desk?
Sell pressure coming back in, guys, even with positive earnings here. Winnebago, WGO down 8%. Now, they reported pre-market better than expected profit. Full year forecast was kind of in line with expectations, but new lows through 53 here on volume for Winnebago.
What? Winnebago. I thought that was like an instant win in this environment, man. Everybody talking about travel and Winnebagos and not traveling in the air and going by ground. Winnebago disappointing there on that one. One thing that's not disappointing, man, ring the registers, man. Another 50 cents here. It's almost perfect here on Microsoft. As we still can keep going to the downside right now. We're getting excited here because the market is also getting down. Now 214.40. Good trade alert on this name, man. Microsoft now 55, 60 cents in the money on the short. We make back everything, and we continue to go nuts here, man. Big trade alert on Microsoft. Let's go. Floss action to the downside. Good trade. We talked about the market giving some back, and here it goes, guys.
Yeah, and just going to make a quick little change there. You can see in real time, I fixed the scaling on my chart. In Snapchat, you're going to see here, I already took one other leg to the short side here, basically the same price, but I will add, if it breaks 38 and cannot get back above like the 38.25 mark on the way back in, I'd like to add to my position. Got to give it to the high of the day. As you can see there, that's like 38.49, 38.50 is a nice way to round it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I feel like, I don't know if we've done this enough, guys, but I want to remind everybody, coming up on Friday, I don't have to say the name because you guys can recognize who that is. Mr. Wonderful himself, Kevin O'Leary. Not the first time he's been on the show, and hopefully not the last as well, but he's going to be coming through this Friday. Hopefully we'll get to that 100,000 subscriber mark before then, so we can impress him a little bit. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys will tune in for that. It's very exciting for us. He's been an awesome guest each time he's been on. But for now, we need to go to Brendan at the desk, who's got some news for us.
Even this PLIN starting to pop back up here. So the market coming down, some of the bigger names coming down, but all these little names that have been strong over the past couple of days, starting to bounce back to the upside. So PLIN came all the way into $1, and we're starting to get some volume. You can see back on the buy side, guys.
You know what's crazy is I still have that last little bit that I was hanging on to for it to maybe break $1, and my stop are basically right here. And I didn't take this pop. This pop here, it's going to be crazy for me not to. So if I can add to this position, jump back in. I said I'd patiently wait for a shot after the open, and this was right at the open at 9:30 to test the same level. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. See if I can get shares between the mid to high 20s here, and just obviously move a stop. If you had it at 140, I think it's more reasonable to have it at 135 right now. Tighten it up because that's on volume, just like MRIN. If it's on volume, you have to tighten things up, or you don't want to risk too much here at this time of day. But it's my price, so I got to see if I can't catch this one. Hertz, no need to get back to that one, but it's continuing to slide to the downside. At the low of the day, if it breaks the low, I'm going to have basically 30% of the position left and then see how far it can go. We'll hold it all day long if I have to.
Yeah, Hertz, you're going to hold that all day long. Yeah, I mean, yesterday that was definitely a great trade, holding Hertz all day long. What's turned out to be a fantastic trade, though, is this Microsoft. And again, this is why you trade with different risk, right? You're not going to get $1 winner on Hertz. It can't, basically. So that's why you share size differently on Hertz than you would on Microsoft. But I don't know if we've hit this too much today. I'm having the best day I've ever had in October so far. Not ever had, but this October, it's been our best day today. And there goes Microsoft, bang, $1 winner. So it's a little bit of this today.
Money.
Just keeps on coming through, man. 81 cents on this side here for this win as it just keeps on trucking Microsoft to the downside. Short. And that's what we're talking about. Down to 213 and change now. Softy, peace out.
Just got into that PLN, so it's a new position, of course, but I was holding on to it, but technically you're going to have to call it a new position. Got some more shares here, 22s, 25s. I said I wanted mid-20s, but it rolls over just shy of that. I'm not going to let a couple of cents get in the way. 130 stop if it wants to come back for me. I do want to update you on another one, which, and this is sort of worth going over here because we always talk about higher time frames, and this is why you want to look at this one on a different time frame. This is a 15-minute. I'm going to sit in A-core, and this is not a day one play. This is like a day two type of situation here. So off of this 95, this is where it flushed in the afternoon after holding support there, all the way down to the low at 88. My price here is a 90 and a half short. I'll start getting it out at 85 and then all the way back down to a 75. I might be in this one for a while, probably the rest of the day, at least the pace that it's going, but it has not really threatened me on the short, which I gotta like.
Okay, yeah, we're just looking at that. That's $1 now on Microsoft. I put a bid in there and then canceled it. Did not want the bid. I think we can keep going, man. I mean, the NASDAQ, who knows where this could go. We have yesterday's low rate here. That's what we're looking at right now, 11,600. So you can watch out for that on the NASDAQ. That's yesterday's, that's this morning's low. What am I talking about? This is a 1 minute chart. This is that level, 11,600. So if we can break that downside, we've already went from hella positive to negative. So watch out for that. The market was on fire this morning. Now coming back in, and we have Microsoft here on a nice trade, 214.25. We'll get out of that and make sure that we capture 75 cents on the downside. So right now, Microsoft making moves, man, and it's been such a good day. I'm super happy with everything today. The only thing we're waiting for now, it looks like our Snapchat attempt at a short. 38.10 is my out, and it looks like that's approaching faster than I would have hoped for that. Snapchat, you can't keep this name down, it doesn't look like. Let's average in a little bit right now, but still, 38.10 is my out. We're going to put on about another quarter of a unit or so.
Just watching that MRIN, speaking of pullbacks, the original stop on this trade, 280 here, looking like it's trying to hold. I think there's going to be a shot to at least, definitely take a short if it breaks it. Certainly, if anyone's looking to double dip on the long, here's a tight stop opportunity for you. It's like 10 cents right here. I'm not going to be doing that. I've already taken the long. And I like this one. The fact that it couldn't make a parabolic move up, I'm going to be back to the south side trading on this name once we're below that 280 mark. So if it was good for a stop before, and it's going to consolidate here under my rules if I'm bearish on the stock, which I am, I'm going to be shorting it through through a 279 break. If we get it, that's of course a big if. Speaking of this, it has not happened yet on Slack, but if we now test the bottom, I mean, all morning long I've been looking for this to fill in the gap, and the market is coming in. It looks like Slack might go the other way and test the low of the day. My preference would be, of course, to maybe catch it for a short in front. But I'm not sure we're going to get that opportunity, so all bets might be off. We might have to be looking at Slack being a lot weaker than I anticipated in today's action. I'm looking to add to Snapchat as well, Sean, but I want to see it maybe get a little bit closer to like 38.25 because now I want to see if I can't give it to the high of the day, so I don't want to dig into too many shares in front of that price. One last one to get to, guys, and I'm not sorry to like jump in from like name to name here, but TGC was another name that we did bring up to you guys. That it is a nice retracement. This halt is to the downside here. If it breaks too even and you're still holding long, I don't know what to tell you. That's probably not a great idea. Looks like it could go back to penny stocks. This was a 97-cent stock yesterday. And it looks like if it breaks two, it's going to be headed back down there. This consolidation, volume's dried up. I'd watch for a 2-even break. I'm shorting it when it breaks that.
There goes Snapchat. We'll throw it to Brandon in a minute. There goes Snapchat above my price, 38.10. Let's take another short now and see if we just got the blowout top. What I beat.
JMIA, guys, Jumaya Technologies, once a high flyer. I just noticed we're back into this gap. So we had positive news going back about a week ago, created this big gap on the daily chart. So we're testing this level anyways, 1430 for JMIA. Even that down 6% today, guys.
All right, we're looking right now at everything we can because we're trying to find some winners. We get back into Snapchat right now. Our Microsoft is $1 in the money. That's a big one for us there. So we're really happy with the way that's moving. We did stay disciplined, but I did notice that was just one quick little spike there, which got us out, unfortunately, at 14s. Nothing I could do, man. It ripped up through 10, and we got out. But then we re-noticed it, that it was not following it. So now we go back short, now short 38. We've lost on that initial spot, so this one needs to come down about, let me find out exactly how much we lost on that trade, 23 cents. So if this can come back down 23 cents, we're laughing back down to that 75 level. I do want to go short again if we get near there, man, 37.64 or so. Yeah, Microsoft now, by the way, now even tanking even more, man. Bang, bang, bang to the downside, a good one. We do have our guest of the day coming up as well, so that should be an exciting one coming very, very soon. Look at this market, guys. See ya.
Yeah, watch out for this PLIN. Volume still continuing to creep up here. My 130 stop hit, so the re-entry to the short is gone. If it breaks 35, which was the original level pre-market right here, then I would think about taking, well, I'm going to take a long trade on the breakup. Very similar to MRIN, only I kind of like this one a little bit less in terms of a long break than I do on MRIN, but still going to have it anyways. Here, got 36s on the 35 break, and it's a similar type of thing, only the level I'll be watching is up here at about 160. If it tries to turn around there, I'm definitely going to be getting out on the way up. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
I just saw a couple of people mentioning this one. Yeah, NEO, another one that's been just on an absolute tear, coming up here to above 29. Even this down significantly today, or not terribly, but coming up to 2%. Just made a day low there on volume, guys, for NIO.
All right. Here goes Snapchat again, man. 38.21 is going to break, and then we'll get out of this trade. There it is. So there it is. Snapchat. We tried again. I was looking for the shorts. I don't have a problem taking those trades, but we did give some money back. So let's go a little bit of spilled milk here. We won't cry over it. I just thought this was wowzers, overly done there. And then now we don't take any problems. We literally just taking small units on this short. There's no way in hell I'm going to hold anything when it looks like this today. But anyways, good trade there on Snapchat early, bad now.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the high of the day, 38.50. If it breaks that, it probably might be worth reversing to the long side the way this stock has been trading. PLIN doesn't get very far here. I actually was throwing some orders out in front of 150, and it gets like 5 pennies. So the 130 break seems like, where I got out of the short, should have gone long there. But my stop all morning was at 135. I probably had a chance to move. I just didn't do it. Certainly that would have been the prudent thing to do. It's still going to the upside here, and the volume is still continuing. So I still think we have a shot to get to that 150 to 160 range. I'll be all out if it even touches 170. You can see this is the pre-market action. That was a lower high that it put in. Certainly that's going to be a kill spot for me. I'm not anticipating that it breaks that pre-market high of 2 even. If it does, that's a pure squeeze to the upside that you almost have to take for momentum trade if you're going to be a scalper.
Yeah, scalper. Yeah, we got to watch out for all of these trades here as we're going. I'm just trying to get out of some of these other ones. There we go. Microsoft still that dollar. We did take Snapchat. Like, this is the thing. Like, I have it again here, man, but I'm only 7 cents in the money, and that's not enough to make up for this. We've lost about 50 cents or so shorting and getting out. If you just add them all up, right, that's about what we've lost on some of those trades. So now we'll just see if it comes back to the downside. We don't have that much LFT today, which is our loss from top. It's from our highest spot. Let's check out NEO. That's a name that we haven't really traded too much today. 27.50, down 1.5%, 32 million shares, a good one for NEO. This is what the chart looks like today. 38.15. We just made a bottom, 27.40. That would have looked pretty good. Where was 27.40 yesterday? Not a bad bottom as well. So we do have some. Oops, I just keep drawing lines. We do have some outs here on NEO. If you did like the long right now, you can hold it for about 20 or 30 cents against you back to the bottom of the day. These futures start to turn around. NEO looks pretty gold right now, guys.
I got triggered into TGC, so we mentioned this one at $2 just in the nick of time because sort of pointed this one out and just saw if I see a level like that, it's already pulling back in. It's still up 100%. Yeah, let's take a crack here. I got 196 I was slipped to, which 4 cents of slippage on $2 stock. That's not the best. 50 million shares it's done, so I would have expected less than that, but it is what it is. Ultimately, you're obviously going to see me take some out in front of that 150 all the way down here. So 75s, 50s on the way in. 50% from $2 to yesterday's price. Psychological level, 156 out like a sore thumb, guys. I also want to jump back over to Pinterest. Jumped into a rollover trade. Obviously, as you can see off the high of the day in Snapchat, pins was the way to go. Clearly, obviously, I think this sort of goes without saying. The original trade I liked at 51. I should have taken this one. I gave you the reasons why I didn't. Those reasons were wrong. Have to revisit when I'm reviewing my trades over tonight, maybe on the train or whatever I'm doing. I'll have to see why I didn't like this Pinterest. It was probably a bad call. It turned around to 52, which is still good. So I still should have had that one through 51 when it came back in. Snapchat relatively stronger. Pins hasn't reported until next week. Should have been obvious to play the rollover trade in Pinterest first and not Snapchat. It is what it is, guys.
Yeah, it is what it is. And you made a good point there. I get jealous of that sometimes too because you can review your trades on the train, right? It's a good one. When you're chilling out, hard to do that. But I think that Neil for sure, when you're chilling out on the train, it's great to do that. That's the point. It's hard to sit here, guys, and analyze your trades if you're not going to do that kind of review like Neil was talking about. Like I can sit here and say, too bad about Square. Come on, Square. Too bad about Square. Why didn't we hold this? Blah, blah, blah. And then you just look and you say, you stuck to your guns about this VWAP. You can rewind the tape. A lot of charts have playbacks and whatnot. And I'm honestly like, I'm glad I didn't really eat that much this morning because it would all be coming back up right about now. Square to the downside, a big move, man, 175. Wow, down 4.5%. We could have got that. But the point of what I'm trying to get at here is that you got to review your trades because if you don't, then you really have no idea like what's happened. And like, look at this. Just like for an example on Snapchat.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so I'm going to review this, and I'm going to say to myself, never, ever go short on a stock that looks something like Snapchat. That it just keeps on going up. Like, these are all shorts. Yeah, that's good, Sean. You're really smart. Just keep getting out all the way back upside. So we follow the whole Snapchat, guys, though. Look, it's 11:30. I'm going to hit something right here. Snapchat, still my biggest stock. We slayed that dragon. And man, did we slay that dragon early. Snapchat, man. What a great trade. My highest stock. I'm at the highest spot I've ever, I keep saying ever. The highest spot I've been at this October. So it's a great trading day. It's absolutely fantastic. We just crushed Snapchat. We crushed Microsoft. We're trading some of the Bitcoin. And it's just been an absolutely fantastic day here.
It's not an excuse, but it's a reason, and it's not a good one, obviously, because it was wrong. Well, maybe it is a good one, and I shouldn't judge it by the result here, but worth noting is Snapchat's short interest was like 7%. Shortsqueeze.com. Pinterest was heavier than that. So the fact that it rolled over, it is what it is. That's not a guarantee that that's going to be the real reason why you short one over the other, but it is worth noting. It's something to check out. It doesn't hold true here. I'm going to lose on Snapchat, obviously, the short. You saw it broke the high of the day. You can't let it go past there. I can't let it go past there. Certainly, if you want to, go ahead. More power to you. If you feel like holding something like that, and maybe it rolls over. Maybe it comes back down and gives you a break through 37 and back into 36 at some point today, but I won't have it, at least on this trade. It's already 11:30, guys, and I feel like time is absolutely flying through. I haven't, we were talking about getting close on those 100K subs. I don't know if we're going to get there today. It'd be exciting if we do. I do want to quickly go back over to this TGC. It's still consolidating. I'm not going to add to this position. I already have what I'm going to have here. If it does, sort of break back up, I like this 220 area, not just because it's 10%, but because there was a bit of consolidation at that price before. So that's what I'll go with for my out. I neglected to mention that when I got into position, so just wanted to correct that for you guys there. Still have TGC, but giving it to 220.
Okay, we're completely flat on everything, man. Here comes Snapchat back in. I think I'm going to short Snapchat. Don't ever let me say that. It's been a roller coaster ride today on Snapchat. But, I found something. I said that if I ever short it again, I may throw up. So we'll just hit this button just in case it does happen. If I do short this one, please throw something at your screen and maybe it will hit me. But Microsoft, we made all that money back and more, but then it comes right back to the high side. We didn't get out at the bottom, man. We thought NASDAQ was basically finished. It goes back to green. And look where it stopped. We called that bottom for you. 11,600. It stops at 629. So good call there. Really happy for that. Hope some of you guys had some of that. But Microsoft now making moves back to the upside. We don't have anything right now. We're just going to wait and hold on and see if we can't catch a top here in some of these. I'm looking to fade Microsoft through 215, so that's only 50 cents from now. We'll put some orders and get a little bit short ahead of that number. I'll never trade Snapchat today to the short side. DraftKings has been a good one. We can check back easily in on Netflix as well. 493, we talked about maybe getting that one long if it broke above 494. A little bit more work required for that. What is this bottom here? 494, yeah, so it's the same thing. Bounces off there a couple times. Let's draw a line. I actually really like this one, guys. 494 on Netflix. Let's take the long if it breaks that.
Yeah, and speaking of breaking, obviously Nicola here, and I'll go. I got all 3 quarters out. It did break up to that 2260 to 2280 range that I liked. I held on to the last quarter just to see if we would make a break to that high of day, and I still like that 2350 break. We talked about this when we went over it in the watch list. It does trail back through, not necessarily the VWAP, but the break even for me. That got me out. It only went another 10 cents before coming right back up to those highs. So it's still on alert for a top-end break and maybe a second squeeze. But I don't know that that's going to happen before we get out of here. If we do get that trade, we'll let you guys know about it, maybe via Twitter or something. TGC continues to go a little bit downside here. But you mentioned Netflix there, Sean. And I'm starting to feel a little bit better about the out. The trail out here is it's really starting to grind sideways, and that 490, held both literally, but on a failed break, I think, to that little downside. So bit of a failed break down at 490, got 50 cents and snapped back up. And as I say that, I'm kind of reminded by about this. I hit the wrong one. I wanted to hit this one for you guys. Kevin Leary is coming on Friday, but. I want to show number 3 because we're coming back at 1 o'clock and we're going to be taping some educational content. And number 3, how to spot a false breakout. And, potentially, breakout, break up, break down, all sort of the same thing. And, looking at Netflix here, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Tune into the example. I'm probably going to reference Netflix at 490 when we talk about this one. And we try to give you content that is both useful to you as a trader, but also relevant to trades that are happening that week or themes that you might see in the short term. So you can see all the things we're going through in our little chat at 1 o'clock. Tune in live. It should be a good one. Brendan, what's up?
I mentioned during the sector watch, guys, we were talking about some of the insurance names. This one just popping up again. You can see volume coming back in through day highs here for Travelers through 123, just straight higher all day long. Even yesterday had a nice day for TRV. I think it was Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank with the upgrade and price target increase for Travelers today.
All right, guys, and this time we're going to hit money, 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 but it's not for anything we've done. It's for Cameron. Thank you so much again. Cameron coming through with another $50 super chat. Thank you so much. We definitely love that. That will buy Valeria a hell of a lot of double lattes with 100 shots of sugar. Don't give me that look. To the long side there. We're going to wait to see on that. Thank you so much, Cameron. Big time there, man. We're back at 1 o'clock, so no rest for the wicked there. Thank you, Neil, for that. We do have an education spot coming up. 5 more videos, and Neil just ran those through. So, we don't rest around here. We're trying to put out as much content for you as possible and answering all the questions, and that's what we're doing, man. We do the show for free, and thank you as well. Abdul there, just saw you. I try to see all the members. Today's been a really fun fun, fast day. But Abdul, thank you so much for becoming a member. $5. We do have on, oh my God, another thing we're doing. On Monday coming up, we do have a private chat for all members as well after the show. So that's just another benefit. But so much more going on. Kevin O'Leary coming on Friday. Big one there. We'll ask him lots of questions, hopefully. And then we do have coming up as well tonight the video that's being dropped, and then the educational segment. So lots happening. Look, if you're not a member yet, at least hit subscribe and hit that like. We're getting close to 100K. I'd show that bottle again, but I don't want to get Neil in a tizzy because we're all very thirsty, and Neil's staring right at it. So we'll wait to see on that Veuve, and we'll see if that Magnum can get popped. Too bad a lot of you guys aren't here in Toronto. Oh yeah, and COVID, because we'd love to pop this with you guys.
I was literally telling Brendan a story at my bachelor party where my brother, for some unknown reason, I think he might have heard me say that brand one time, and then he got convinced that that's exactly what I had to have at the club, and they didn't have it, so he made them go get it somewhere else. And at that point in the night, it's like I had no idea what was going on. So it was a complete waste of time, but I do have fond memories of that bottle, and it's crazy. I wish you guys could see a shot. Like, there's so much in my face that will be blocking me from that desk. I can't even see Brendan's face, but that bottle is like right there, perfectly set, so that it's in my field of vision every single time I look at my program monitor. So I'm being teased by it. That's why you keep seeing me say it over and over and over again. But we talk about our winners, we talk about our losers. I got to go for the ACOR here. Not ACOR, PLIN. It does come back in. I mentioned here I didn't like this one as much on the breakout to the long side as I did in MRIN, and it turns out that might have been right. I didn't take the long here at 130, which is going to seem like an obvious play. That's where I got out of my second short. I didn't go long till a 135 break, and it really only went about like 7 or 8 cents to the upside, which wasn't my first profit target. I get right back out here at 130, which seemed like it was the right thing to do. This one failing to get to the upside. Didn't have quite the buy momentum that MRIN did on the way up there. So you got to take your hits, limit them, and I think that's the way to go. So 1 for 2 on that setup, but thankfully overall up because you take a bigger win than you lose. That's the way you should do it, or at least try to. That's the name of the game. I'll come back to Nicola in just a second. We'll go to Brendan at the desk.
In case you needed a few more China-related stocks to look at, here's 2 more for you to add to the list. GAB up 4.3% today, just made a day high there on decent volume. China-related software company YI, another one, 5% here, popping up on volume as well through 710, 720 day highs. Pick a Chinese stock. It's going to be near or at day highs, guys.
Yeah, and we actually... I forgot completely about Nicola, so I just looked over and punched in a very small share size here because that was the high, 23 or so right here, 22.90. We liked that long, breaking through 23, the high of the day. So I really should have 23s, but we have 14s now, so that's why it's not going to be, that's not why, but we're not going to put on big risk. If that was through 23, probably would have pounded that and then got some out now on some of this move. That, like I said, when it starts down here and then makes 50 cents all the way back, we got to give it some room because it may not continue upside now. So not a big risk spot here on Nicola. If it can come back in 22.60, we'll put on some more, but for right now we're going to wait. So I'm going to put some bids here downside 22.80, 22.90 on Nicola, but we did do a starter position here as it looks like it's getting ready to go.
Yeah, and speaking of Nicola, just to give the other time frame look here, let's look at the entirety of the last week of trading on Nicola. This is at 23.50 level, of course, on the gap up here on the positive chatter. I mean, no official word on the update on the deal, but 23.50 is that level that I'm eyeballing. It failed a couple of times here, both pre-market and well, I guess it kind of rolled into here at 23.20 before pulling back right now. So it's not quite up at 50, but it is looking like it's going to make a test of this level at some point. I would give it one shot to short in front and then break to the long side off of 23.50, which is basically the way I will play this every single time at this time of day. No guarantees we get there before the end of the show. I mean, it's already 11:38, guys, so we'll see what happens on Nicola. Already had one good long trade. I will take another one. We'll see what happens at 23.50. It's a good level. I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to come back to Pinterest because look at how nicely it held. This is like the opening range bottom. It actually sold off and gave you a chance to go long below 49 before screaming to the upside, and then turns around on a dime on this pullback right there, right off that pre-market dip buy. So if you're bullish, that's something you got to be all over here. Now, I mentioned that I should have shorted this instead of Snapchat. I stick to that. And if we're going to hold below VWAP, I'm going to try to get back into this party on Pinterest. Got to be below 50 for me, and then maybe I can give it to like a 50-35, 50-40, and then it just sort of grinds down lower as long as the market wants to continue to show a little bit of weakness. Last thing I want to do here, I think we're going to be very, very close to our guest trader of the day. But this TGC, it'll see me pop in the money every now and then. I won't take anything off till I'm like 10 cents in the money on this stock, and then from there it's like 75, and then 65, and then 50. The ultimate target to the downside. If it goes all the way back to $1, I'll be long gone with that trade. 220 is going to be the stop on that one.
On Apple, you said?
No, that's just TGC.
Oh, TGC. Okay, yeah. I was like, oh my God, we're trading Apple. Okay, Nikola does not. It does come down, but not to our price. What was I bidding? 89s there. So we got as low as 93 on that one. So not really super close to getting hit there. But Nikola now makes it back to the upside rate where we're in. So again, we're just trying to play the momentum here on Nikola, and I think it's going to be a good play for us upside now. But again, should have been longer down here before it actually broke. So we understand that, and now we take the risk on Nikola, now making moves back to the high side. So watch out here. Nikola still going. Would have loved to get longer. We can get even more long if it does eventually. I mean, this is still 23.20. That's not a horrible spot to get long. I think there's more work required before we actually put on like a bigger position for Nikola. So we'll check out a daily chart as we throw over to Brendan for guest trader of the day.
Hey guys, yeah, it's that time once again. Guest trader of the day brought to you by Lewis Daniels Watches. I was just double checking here, guys. We're getting to the end of our guest trader of the day segment brought to you by Lewis Daniels Watches. Everyone coming on through until Friday. This is the second last guest trader of the day. Ratnam Rubin joining us today for guest trader of the day. He's going to get a Lewis Daniels watch. You are the second last guest trader of the day. We're going to put it on hold for a while, guys, and come back possibly in the near future with more. Good to have you, Ratnam. How has your morning been?
Oh, very good, very good. We have a very beautiful day in British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia. I had a couple of them done today. One is just still going, and like Niels said, MRIN, I couldn't get in, so it just, yeah.
It's been an exciting morning, definitely. Lots of symbols to look at, lots of things still going on. Let's get back to it. Here's Neil and Sean.
Welcome to the program, Random. I got my, oh, there it is. Oh, Canada action.
Yeah,
I got my
right.
Lewis Daniels
That's
watch.
right.
You'll get one of these ones, one of the last few to be picking that one up. You mentioned, you said they're MRIN. Did I hear you say you couldn't get into it this morning?
Somehow it said electronically I have to call them into, because I don't think you have a, I don't have the, what do you call, they said I have to call in, so
yeah, you don't have, it's probably because of the shorts, you don't have the locates.
Yeah, this was a tricky one, and I know for myself it was frustrating. And Brendan and I were, all of us were looking at this stock, and we didn't have the locates initially on MRI, and at some point I think we did get a good price on them. I just want to bring it back up because I didn't take this trade. I'm still looking for it to break this support level down here for a short. This 275, 280 area, but it just bounced up again, and I've already taken this trade once, and I'm looking at this move back up, and I feel like. If it fails one more time at 4 even, I'm going to like that short even more. But you can't ignore. This is why I liked MRIN to the long side more than the one I just had over in PLIN. Was the volume. It was a stronger move to the upside. It was stronger volume, relatively speaking, when it made that push. It's not as big here, but once again, it's just showing a little bit more juice off that level. I do like the short. If it fails again at 4 even, it feels like an obvious trade, and definitely below that 275 mark. That's what I'm looking at in MRIN. If that's
I was going to look for a long one for about $3. I tried to put in, didn't go through. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that actually would have been a good trade right now because you'd be in money like 15%, looking to break up to that 4 even. Can I assume, based on the fact that this is a stock that you're looking at, that you're more taking in-play names just that happen to have catalysts, that happen to have gaps up or down, or do you sort of spread out into some of the more big cap names? Like, what's your overall style and strategy of trading there, Padam?
Just get your once I get your daily watch list and go from there a little bit, and then and also I have my own list of stocks that I usually play, and
Out there.
some of them I have it for longer ones. I'm in SQ for a longer term.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm in the NIO for a longer time, long terms.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love that square pick. So let's spin the wheel on that one and see if that can come up good. I mean, I was able to pick up Square at a very low price, Ratnam. So good look there. I had the short on Square today, that's for sure. What is your favorite stock to day trade? You just mentioned that you go back to a few different ones. Everybody knows I love NEO, NIO, and not traded it today, evidently, and Microsoft. Is there two or one that you kind of go back to the well every single day with Ratnam?
Yeah, I have usually CCL I go,
Yeah.
AAL I go, NIO I go, and I have very long. I picked it up at very low price on NIO. I got a couple of times went in and went out, and then now I'm holding for a long time.
Yeah, good.
I started at 295 NIO,
Jeez.
believe it or not, and then I came out about at 5.
Yeah.
495.5. Then I got back in about 770, and I'm still holding it. So
And honestly,
that's
I
a
love-
good one for me.
I love that story, and it's very hard to hold some of those when they go parabolic.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you there, Ratnam. And oh, by the way, which part of BC are you from? Did you say
Vancouver, BC.
Vancouver, okay, so mainland there, yeah. So shout outs to everybody. I've been to Victoria as well. Beautiful.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. What did you say the weather was like there? Here today in Toronto.
Sunny.
Go ahead.
Today is sunny and 13, 14 degree, I guess.
Oh.
It's very nice. Even when it's cold, it's +3 is the lowest. Once in a while, it goes to -5, -6, but very rare we see those.
I'm going to do iceberg here because in Toronto, it gets cold. It gets a lot colder than -3. We go to probably about -25 or 30. And then if you add the wind chill, it can even be more than that. But today, as I look, 15 and rainy. So we're giving some love over to the BC as it's always rainy over there. That's the one thing that I guess is true. Not always, but more often than here for sure. Nicola, we did pick some up on the downside there at 87. Our average price right now, 01. So we're waiting for Nicola to take off the top here, Neil.
Yeah, I'm watching that same level. I mean, if it gets to that 23.50, I'm going to be certainly all over it. I love the irony of the fact that it's raining here, and then you're talking about it's sunny in BC. We always talk about that. I love it out there in the West. I love the periphery. I've oddly enough never been to the middle of Canada, but I've been to the edges and love them both. I got to go back. Sorry, here, Adam. We only have a few minutes left here in the show, so I want to just quickly say I did get some out of TGC here in Southside Trade. Got some at 86. When it works its way down to 75, I'll get more out. This is a rollover that just is. I love the fact the volume's trailing off. I love the fact that buyers aren't stepping up. I didn't get it till the break of 2 even, and obviously you could have had it. And we talk about this with halts. When you get any kind of a halt and then opens lower on one of these sort of high-flying names, and this one was coming back in as it is, that's always a bearish sign. It wasn't on my radar till after Brennan brought it to my attention. So, certainly I should have maybe had something at 280. We wait for 2. It's a win's a win, but you got to look for ways that you can get better. And I know that was a missed opportunity, a big time here on TGC right here at 280 after the reopen. It doesn't even break back above VWAP. So it basically holds that range and it gives you that fantastic short. Not to put you on the spot here, Radham, but do you I am going to put you on the spot. That's why I said it. We're dropping some topics today, both that we're covering live at 1 o'clock. And just out of curiosity, sheer curiosity, is there any particular thing when you watch the show that maybe we gloss over, talk about too fast, or we're not doing clear enough, or that maybe you'd want us to dive in a little bit deeper with when it comes from an education standpoint? I know Sean and I talk quickly at times and move through strategy very, very fast. And there's some things that people may want us to cover more deeply. We're always looking for topics. So if you have a suggestion for us, love to hear it.
Not really. You guys are perfectly fine. I see Sean is so energetic, and Neil is always keep the same pace on whether you make it good or bad. It just you are on the same pace all the time. Good to see all that. Sean gives the energy to the whole show, and Brandon comes in, and Valeria. Everybody's doing good, and you have to talk. You can't go too deep because the stocks, moves that quick, and you can wait for the time. You have to move on with the moves. So I don't see anything, bad or to improve. You gotta move on quickly.
News here. Thank you so much for those kind words. I'll keep the energy going all the time here. And yeah, we got to do a change of pace, right? So look at Nicola. You want to talk about change of pace? Bang, bang, bang. Nicola now getting elevated. I'll put it on Twitter. GM still in discussions here with Nicola. We already knew that. So I don't know if this is anything new, but Nicola now making moves to the upside. Look at these averages in. Bang, bang, bang. Now a nice little 28 penny winner on Nicola. Wow. So yeah, today, Ratna, man, it's been crazy for me today. The highest day I've had in October, and it will hopefully keep on raining down as Nicola now going to the moon right now here, Ratnam. So we'll see what happens here. Which broker do you use here in Canada? We do get a lot of questions. We, of course, don't have the PDT rule here. We can trade as many times as we want, but you let me know what broker you use. It's not an advertisement for it. We just do get a lot of people here wondering what are traders using as Nicola right now. 40 cents in the money and the market turns green. Sorry about that, Ratnam. My next out is high side, 23.80. Like, I'm expecting a moon here. Let's go, Nicola. What broker do you use?
TD Waterhouse.
There we go.
And also, I have a couple of them, BMO Pro Lite. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, TD Waterhouse. We do hear a lot of people talking about that TD Ameritrade, depending on where you're at there, US or Canada. But good look there. I know they have Thinkorswim. They have good charting as well. So a good look there. Nicola not going here. The highest it spiked there was 35. That's fine. I still have high side visions here above 23.50, guys.
Yeah, and that 50 market is coming rather quickly. And about that $3 on MRIN that you talked about, Ratnam, that would have been obviously fantastic. The second move bigger than the first. Not what I was anticipating at all. But it looks like we've got another runner in this name. Sometimes this happens in the afternoon. And other times after the big hard retracement here, you do see the push come a little bit earlier on. Thankfully, we got some of it. But I missed out on entirely this secondary push, and it breaks through 4 even, so there's no short for me. It has to, if I'm going to short a stock like this, it has to fail, this 380 to 4 even mark, lower than the previous price. We already had a level that we're watching. That doesn't happen. So we're going a bit parabolic on MRIN, so let's keep a few things in mind. I just want to quickly point out where this came from. This is already put in a 5x move from basically a couple of days ago to the tops at 6. That's the level that I'd be watching. Now that we've broken through that 4, not $5, I'm looking at 6 even to see if that can't hold. If it does, might be another short, but I'm not touching it until it makes a test of 6 even. This one's going crazy to the upside, and it wouldn't be crazy, in my opinion, to have momentum break through the actual high here, which is just above that 6 mark. It's like 635. So if it breaks that, maybe take a quick scalp up, and things are probably going crazy. And it's likely halted before that even happens. Speaking of halts, just a curiosity here. If you're trading something like an MRIN, certainly if you take a long at 3, I mean, we see halts when these things go 10, 20% too fast. Have you been caught in a halt? Do you have a particular plan of action if it ever happens to you in the event that it hasn't?
Not really. I never got into that. And no, I'm laggy. I don't want to get into that.
I think, so one of the things I'm going to say, point out here is what you can do is certainly, if you get along at like a 3 here, you can anticipate that if it makes a break of that $4 level, good chance that it could start to go parabolic. And it doesn't happen to halt here. So if you had done this on a 3 long, where you just put a take profit order, which might get you out too soon, but it's going to give you that opportunity that if it does spike up, you've taken your profit before there is that halt. That's one way to avoid it. But there's no way to get around it. If you try to look for ways not to get caught in a halt, you're going to give up some upside. You won't get that perfect trade like Kodak to 40 or whatever it is. I think it's a fair trade. I'm not saying that's the right way to go, but I think the risk of holding through multiple halts is crazy in my opinion because you don't know where to take that profit off. Why not just bag that 50%, 70% that you would have had off $3? That's a great look, by the way, that long at 3, whether you got it or not, Radham. I love that trade. I wish I had put it on the second time.
I know. I didn't get in. I think you had it at 310 or 320.
Yeah, 320 the first time.
Yeah. So yeah.
But it's even better the second time, and I wish I'd had it there. And I keep seeing, and you guys are teasing us, having next to me that bottle of champagne. Hopefully, Random, your good luck and get us that push so we can get closer to that 100,000 mark.
Okay, Ratnam, we only have 5 minutes left. You've been fantastic. And obviously, we've talked about the Canadian content here. And yes, thank you so much for everybody who's Canadian, everybody watching the show. It doesn't matter where you're from. But Ratnam, here's a good opportunity. Give any shout outs if you want to say what's up to anybody, congratulations to anybody, anything like that. Of course, this is on YouTube forever. So make it count right now, Ratnam.
Oh, my son is only 10 years old, and he's always come and tell me, and he looks at all my charts, going all 3 screens and stuff, and say buy this, and he's into Tesla. Just because of him, I bought Tesla for a while.
Good.
And before the split, and then I sold it, and then I bought it again. It's doing good, and he likes it. He comes and take a look at my stocks and say, oh wow.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
They love the colors. My kid, actually, I had him sit right on my desk and made his first trade he was under 1 year old. So
wow.
Yeah, it was just really fun. Just hitting keys, right? Oh, don't tell our compliance department that. No, it was paper money, guys. Don't worry about that. But a paper trade, right? Simulation mode. And if you believe that, that's great. But Nicola right now falling back down. So a shout out to your son. Anybody else, or is that enough?
Oh no, yeah, and my wife always, keep me going, and
you got it.
Come and ask, and how you doing? Don't panic, and just go simply, easily, whatever it takes.
Good, man. Yeah, that's great. Nicola down there, we get the bottom of 74. It does come crashing down. So we let greed get the best of us, which often does happen. Not to me. I get out often, probably too early most of the time. But right here, we'll wait to see if Nicola can get back to the high side there. Obviously, some of this GM news, I did put that out there. We did talk about it. It's out now. GM president talking more about Nicola right now. Here we go. Our long is now 84. So now we're back in the money 10 cents. Get a little bit out. If we can get back here, about 23.10 or so is that level. So we'll put an order 23.05, see if we can't capture 25 cents on this Nicola move back to the high side. The big day continues here, Ratnam.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to TGC just to update you on this one. I love when these are nice and orderly and structured and nice slow grind down. I got the second target here out at 177, so 19 penny winner here. That's about that 10% mark. I will now slide, now that it's gone 10%, I slide my stop to break even from 220. That's just the way I'm always going to do it here. You see me do it a day in, day out. I can already see this earnings board. And it's near the end of the show, and we're in the midst of earnings season, obviously. So let's get to Brendan so we can see it. This one's a mess.
All right, guys, a couple things to get through here before we wrap things up for the morning. The official number stands at 568 to go to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't done so already, guys, help us out. Let's get to 100,000 or come back tomorrow and join us as we can enjoy
I want to get it today.
There. Yeah, 100,000 subscribers coming soon. Let's go. Yeah, help us out there, Ratnam. Ratnam, you were talking about Tesla. One of, let's just say many on the earnings board. Why don't we throw that up there, guys, and have a look at what's coming up. Wow, yeah, what? Tesla tonight, guys.
What kind of a board is that? Like, I can't even focus here, Ratnam. Like, there's so many names on this board that we like. CSX, if you like energy names. Your American Airlines is on there as well. So watch out. Hold your shares close to you on that one. AT&T dividend, a possible problem there as well. Coca-Cola, one of the best names around. And then right there in the middle, Tesla. Lots happening there, Neil.
There's one other undercover one. I remember AMD was looking to buy Xilinx. So Xilinx reporting. There's some question about whether any of these chip deals will go through. Of course, antitrust issues. So got to watch out for that. So watch that. And you are good luck, Radam. Maybe we didn't get to 100K yet, but anytime we get to 2,000, there's Valeria. She was dancing. There it is. There's the dance.
There it is.
Oh,
is that the worm? What
you guys
is that?
got to actually get it when she's doing it. But there you go. You guys got to see Valeria dance. And thank you, Redden, for being an awesome guest. best of luck to you, but best of luck also to your son. Put him through college with some of those investments. It looks like obviously well on your way there. There is one thing that we have to do before we sort of round things out. I see it on my screen already. Let's see what national day it is. I've never had this. It looks pretty tasty to me.
Hey Ratnam, thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day and a lot of profitable days. Trading family, thank you very much for all of your support and for 2,000 of likes. All we are doing for you. Guys, please don't leave without subscribing to this channel and hitting thumbs up. And come back at 1 p.m. Eastern time at the link I'm sending on the chat for our next educational session. And happy National Pumpkin Cheesecake, everyone.
Yup.
I mean, what is the difference? I mean, it's pumpkin cheesecake and then normal pumpkin pie, but I guess obviously there's some sort of an aspect there of cheese in a pumpkin pie.
There's no bad cheesecake.
I'm not sure about that one, Ratnam. You had cheese pumpkin pie before? Pumpkin pie cheesecake?
Not really, but I am a cheesecake lover.
Yeah,
Every time.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I'm sure there is. You could make some kind of a cheesecake that maybe I wouldn't like, but I haven't had one yet. I'm on board. You're always gonna, this time of year, you know, at least for us in North America, there's always extra pumpkin. So we had pumpkin waffles last weekend because we made a pumpkin pie and had tons left over. So pumpkin waffles, I'm sure we'll maybe try. I've never made a cheesecake before. My wife hasn't either, but I'd love to try that. It looks like it's going to be good. I want to thank you again one more time here, Ratnam, and also look out for this little watch. It's our Lewis Daniels watch. You're one of the last to get it because obviously the guest trader of the day has been fantastic. We have only one more after you, so the penultimate, is that the right word? Guest trader of the day till we bring it back. It is 12. I need to remind you guys. This is a good video that's going to be dropping here, guys. Why? Because you heard Sean talk about the relative strength index this morning in reference to one of his trades. When you get moves in the market, you get earnings season, you start to get oversold and overbought conditions. That's why we dropped this video today. Check that out on our Market Wisdom channel. Valeria's already given you guys a link, so make sure you tune in. It's been a wild one. It's been a fun one. It's been a profitable one. It is 12 o'clock. Unfortunately, we have to get out of here. We are back at 1 o'clock to tape some further topics for you, so join us for that. Ratnam, thank you one more time. And down the line, for Valeria, for Sean Catino, my friend, for Brennan Wiggins, who was much closer to our other good friend there, the bottle of champagne, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you in an hour. Bye, guys. Thanks, Ratnam.